mentioned with supreme praise about the way that he handled being in and out of the lineup. And if he were to be signed this year, he'd have to have that same attitude. But for Derek, for Calvin, who played very well in the run to the Eastern Conference Final, the first of all of these playoff years that we've enjoyed, for them to choose Carolina number one, but then it's even more impressive because of how competitive it is really a great validation of the State of the Union, of what the Hurricanes are all about, what Don's all about, what Rod's all about. And so, yeah, that does mean a lot. And, you know, one more thing on Stepan Stastny, who played very well on the left side in Nino's spot with Stahl and Fost. He'll play the middle. Kokaniemi's going to play his third game, which I think is trying to get him in a position to hit the ground running when it's for real against these Columbus Blue Jackets.
Same with Natchez.
Yeah, and same with Natchez. Jarvis, who's gotten better as things have gone along here. Jarvis playing. So I just look, and I have no clue, both in terms of salary cap constraints, restrictions, in what Don is thinking, what Rod's thinking. But you can look at him and you can say, depending on where Kokaniemi is going to be at, you'd be patient with that, but Stepan Stastny, of course, wing or center. We know he has that versatility. Jack Drury, who will play tomorrow night. Let's not kid ourselves. It's a big game for Drury. In my view, was quite good against Florida. Not as good against Florida here with this tremendous competition. That if they end up signing Derek Stepan, he plays well tonight to force that decision. It just gives you a lot of safety. If, again, it works within the cap restraints. But to your original question, I think it's a wonderful compliment to where the Hurricanes are at, that these guys want to be here and involved in this fierce competition.
All right, Antti Raanta tonight. I thought for 40 minutes in Carolina's second game, the one at Sunrise, I thought he was excellent for 40 minutes. But he didn't finish the game. We went to the bullpen. Sawchenko played very well. Your level of confidence just in what you've seen from Raanta?
Oh, he was excellent for 40 minutes. And I look specifically at his depth, and what I mean by that is how he handles shots when there's a potential backdoor where he has to stay deep, but then how he takes advantage and takes an extra step or two when shooting is the only attacking player's option. And the way that he made those quick decisions and was aggressive at the right times was really good. And then when he had to worry about some of those other things and couldn't get the same challenging depth, his depth even within the paint and moving side to side rebound control was excellent. One thing I worried about was his health, and whatever the reason was, he didn't play the third period. It was clearly precautionary. The fact that he's back in the nets tonight, all very good signs, and let's hope that he can play a clean 60 tonight, I would guess, but who knows? It's a fluid situation. And then I would think that Pyotr Kochetkov would play in Buffalo tomorrow.
No question. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow then.
Well, I look forward to it.
That's going to be an every pregame show thing, once again, with Trip Tracy. I am Adam Gold. We will run down the lineups for you as we turn towards puck drop here on the Stormwatch, presented by the John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram folks on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Joe Ovias for Copy.
Indianapolis. At Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
Salary growth matters to me.
We're on it, Ben. Geico offers a competitive salary that grows with you because finances matter. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even things you don't think matter, like crying during sports movies.
The teamwork, the adversity, the underdogs.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis and let's get growing.
From time to time, and upload PDFs when I want to refinance or I have applications for things. It was easy. The software is incredibly easy to use as well, and we're backed by Copiers Plus and their professional service. So what are you waiting for? Schedule your free print assessment today at copiers-plus.com. Customer service is fantastic. They will address exactly what you need for your situation. Again, that's copiers-plus.com.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. When I'm not in Seattle, I travel a lot, calling games and looking for the best wings. Still, nothing compares to Buffalo Brothers. By far, my favorite wings on the planet. And Buffalo Brothers has more than just wings. Pizza, apps, salad, ribs, and burgers. Amazing food for you and the whole family. And they have half-priced apps Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. And always awesome drink specials. Dine in, carry out, and buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Is your job recession-proof? Now might be the perfect time to switch careers and become an IT professional with My Computer Career. IT is listed as one of the top recession-proof professions. You could have your dream job in just months, not years. No experience needed. Take classes online or on campus. And financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Customers ask us all the time, how can we sell that many vehicles in a small town like Lillington? The answer's simple. We do what we say we're going to do. So if you're in the market for a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get off your keister and come to Heister. And by the way, you won't have to hear blah, 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 all included.
It's Ram Power Days. Come get your Ram 1500 while there's 0% on all 2022 Ram 1500 Classic Bighorn packages and Laramies. Plus 0% for 72 months on 2022 Gladiator Overland packages now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Fellas, it's time to get off the bench and get into the game of love. Reliable Jewelry in Raleigh can coach you through finding the perfect engagement ring. How reliable are we? Since 1949, 3 generations of our family have paired up triangle couples with their ideal engagement ring. So we can certainly get you a winner too. Best of all, we have lower overhead, so we pass those savings on to you. For luxury and affordability, come see us at 345 South Wilmington Street in downtown Raleigh and reliablejewelry.com.
Adam Gold back here at PNC Arena. Storm Watch, presented by John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram here on 99.9 The Fan. Canes and Blue Jackets just a few minutes away. Columbus, by the way, 3-1-1 so far in the preseason. The Hurricanes are 3-0. Columbus hasn't had a game lost due to Hurricane Ian. Blue Jackets are 3-0 on their home ice and 0-1-1 on the road. One quick transaction that happened earlier today. The Hurricanes assigned defenseman William Lagesson and Ronan Seeley to the Chicago Wolves. Seeley's a rising prospect who came out of, I'm not going to say nowhere, but has really had a great last 12 months in his development. They will both be with Chicago as their training camp has begun. 40 players remain on the roster with some interesting things to think about as well. So let's get to the lineups in a mixed group for Rod Brindamore. Plenty of NHL talent, but different combinations for the most part. None of the lines that we normally see will play tonight, although some familiar players. Paul Stastny will center tonight's top trio with Seth Jarvis to the right, Jordan Martinook on the left. Paul has a power play goal in the win over the Lightning. Jarvis sniped Maxime Legacy in that 5-1 win as well. Normally, Jarvis playing with Aho and Teravainen. Game number 3 for Jesperi Kotkaniemi on the second line. Same for the 88 car as Martin Necas lines up to his right. Both have 2 points thus far and will be big parts of the forward group going forward, obviously. Ryan Dzingel will skate on the left side as he tries to work his way back from a long stretch of injuries. He is also our second intermission guest today, and I thought an interesting conversation, a little insight into what Ryan has gone through the last few years. Vasily Ponomarev, a very interesting prospect, will center the third lines with the feisty Jamison Reese to his left and a great story in Stelio Matheos on the right. Ponomarev had a goal in the win at Florida. Reese had a smart play in the interior of the ice that led to a Justin Robidas goal. Matheos' story is a great one. A survivor of testicular cancer trying to claw his way back up the prospect ladder. He was a big-time point producer. In his last 2 junior seasons, 186 points in 133 games played. Just a great story. Good for him. And I'll hope he has a good game tonight. Fourth line, we'll have Derek Stepan in the pivot with Stefan Nason on the left and Mackenzie McEachern on the right. On defense, and if you can't have the attorneys at Dysart Willis on your side 24/7, you'd be almost as good if you rolled out this half dozen on the blue line. Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns. We talk about Brent Burns. He had 2 goals in the win over the Panthers on Saturday. Brady Shea and Brett Pesce. We have not seen them since the opener last Tuesday night, 6 days ago, in the win over the Lightning. Griffin Mendel and Ethan Bear. I think we saw Mendel in the first game. Ethan Bear has played twice already, and it probably is a big night for Ethan as there aren't a lot of available spots. If we say that Calvin DeHaan is going to make the team as a left defenseman, then Ethan Bear is fighting with Dylan Coughlin and Jalen Chatfield for that starting spot on the third pair on the right side. Big game for Bear, as I mentioned. Remember, Calvin DeHaan wasn't signed to a 1-year deal to not play. Carolina's defense is very good. So are the defense attorneys of Dysart Willis, high-stakes litigation and defense, online, dysartwillis.com. Auntie Ranta in net tonight. He saved 20 of 21 shots in Thursday's win in Sunrise, but he did not finish the game. Zach Sarchenko will back up again, and I thought Zach was very good coming out of the bullpen in Carolina's win there. If you are interested, and I'm sure you are, a couple of former Hurricanes on the ice tonight for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We will see Jake Bean, who was traded last offseason to the Jackets, and he will skate on their top pair with Adam Boquist. Victor Rask, a one-time difference maker for Carolina before injuries took their toll. He will line up at center and be on Columbus's third trio. 19-year-old Cole Sillinger, who was a first-round pick a year ago, he will center the Jackets' top line, and there are a couple of other former first-rounders in the lineup as well for Columbus. Yegor Chinnikov, who scored twice on Thursday and has 3 goals so far in the preseason. He will play, and Liam Foudy, who was the 18th overall selection in 2018. Look, Columbus is a completely retooled team. This is a team that, while they don't have necessarily great depth on defense, they have good goaltending, although we are going to see Daniil Tarasov in goal tonight, so we will not see Korpisalo or Merzlikins or somebody like that. But this is a team, they didn't bring Zach Werenski with them. They didn't bring Johnny Gaudreau, which was a surprise that they were able to sign Gaudreau in free agency. Patrick Laine didn't make the trip. Jakub Voracek didn't make the trip. Jack Roslovic didn't make the trip. This is a team that has some talent and will still play a grinded-out style under Brad Lambert, their head coach. Carolinas will have their work cut out for them every time they play. But back to the Hurricanes and their roster issues. These are all good problems to have. At the very least, Carolina's going to be stacked on their roster in Chicago. They'll be good on the blue line. Look, if Maxime Lajoie, who you can make an argument in the game at Florida, might have been Carolina's best defenseman in that game, if Max Lajoie is going to go back to Chicago and play again like he did a year ago, I mean, Carolina's got a really good player down there. And if, let's just say, Jalen Chatfield doesn't make the team and clears waivers, he goes back to Chicago. Or maybe it's Ethan Bear who doesn't make this squad and heads back to Chicago. Carolina's got a lot of good problems to have on the back end and at the forward group. You've got Derek Stepan, Stefan Nason, Ryan Dzingel, Jack Drury. Given health, if everybody is healthy, those are four guys for no more than 3 spots. And the number's probably 2. Going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, which makes tonight a very big game for the Stepans, the Nasons, the Dzingels of the world. If I had to guess, I would say that Ryan Dzingel is headed for Chicago to start the season there. But again, all good problems to have because Ryan understands the long game. He's trying to get back to where he was when he was a back-to-back 20-goal scorer for the Ottawa Senators, although the second one of those seasons, he did score some goals for the Columbus Blue Jackets at the end. That'll do it for us. A little evening hockey in the wake of post-tropical storm Ian, although that's out of here. Canes looking to make it 4 in a row. Straight ahead.
The Carolina Hurricanes play on WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, Raleigh-Durham. 99.9 The Fan.
Carolina Hurricanes preseason hockey is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, by Harris Teeter, Pepsi, PNC Bank, Spectrum Mobile, UNC Health, by Cardinal Apparel, Vector Security, the North Carolina Education Lottery, Spectrum Paint, and by Woodbridge Wine. You're listening to the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
The Carolina Hurricanes are in preseason form as they enter their last 2 September friendlies before the season starts for real in 9 days. And when I say preseason form, I mean that in the best of ways. In Rod Brindamore's first year as head coach, the Canes went 5-0-1 in exhibition play, winning their first 4 in regulation with an aggregate score of 19-4. So far, 3-0, 14-6 edge on the scoreboard, and probably a much larger one on the ice. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Gold, and not only have the Hurricanes carried the lion's share of the play through 3 trips to the rink this month, but they have gotten production from players who are either trying to make a mark and the roster or those whose production is critical to the Hurricanes' success as a team. Brent Burns welcomed himself to his new fans with a pair of goals in Carolina's 4-3 win over the Panthers on Saturday. Andrei Svechnikov scored twice. Martin Necas with a goal and an assist. He's been noticeably good. Jesperi Kotkaniemi's been productive. Derek Stepan scored shorthanded. Jack Drury's been good. And in a crowded race for a third defensive pair, everyone's been good. Calvin DeHaan even signed a contract on Saturday. Dylan Coughlin has 4 assists, 3 of those on the power play. It has been good, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out tonight. Back with lineups and scratches after these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Excuse me, are you Lady Luck?
Who's asking?
Could you give me some lucky numbers for pick 3 and pick 4?
You don't need lucky numbers, kid. You just add Fireball. When you add it to pick 3 or pick 4, you get an extra drawn number for more combinations to match and win.
Wow. Do you have any other lucky tips?
Plenty, but first you gotta rub Mama's bunion.
Yikes. Make your own luck with Fireball. Must be 18 to play. See pick 3 and pick 4 Fireball prize and odds charts at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I got it.
Me too.
You know I've got it.
Everyone.
I'm talking everyone at Green Horizon 1 Hour
has got your back.
Like trying to sell you a heat pump or furnace
when a simple repair will do.
It's called Green Horizon's Whole House Promise.
We'll never recommend something you don't need.
So if your heat pump or furnace is sounding funny
or not working at all,
give us a call
because we've got your back.
At greenhorizon.com.
Gotta move. That's usually the reaction. It's the mountain of stuff that's got to be packed, organized, and transferred, which is where Miracle Movers of Raleigh steps in. They're in the business of moving mountains. It's like a miracle because you don't have to stress. You just hand it over to the pros at Miracle Movers. Their top-notch team takes care of all the details. Whether it's a big move or small, local or long distance, Miracle Movers does it all. Moving, packing, even storage. Reach out for a miracle today and get a free estimate at miraclemoversusa.com.
Injuries and scratches brought to you by UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. Max Pacioretty out with a torn Achilles. Ryan Suzuki, a no-go with an upper body injury. But good news, he skated, albeit in a yellow no-contact jersey at practice today with the game group. So hopefully he is just about getting ready to come back. Here's how the Hurricanes will line up tonight. Jordan Martinook will play on the left side with Paul Stasny in the middle and Seth Jarvis on the right. It'll be Jesperi Kotkaniemi centering Martin Necas on the right and Ryan Dzingel on the left side of that. Big night for Ryan Dzingel. Vasily Ponomarev, the third center tonight. Stelio Matheos on the right-hand side. He is a testicular cancer survivor, so a good story there. And Jamison Reese, the feisty one, will play on the left side. And Derek Stepan will center the fourth line with Stefan Nason on the right and Mackenzie McEachern on the left. On defense for Carolina, the top four, very familiar. Jacob Slavin will play the left side with Brent Burns. He scored twice in his Carolina Hurricanes debut. Brett Pesce and Brady Shea, the stalwart pair, on the second duo. And we'll have Griffin Mendel on the left, playing with Ethan Bear, and a big game for Ethan Bear tonight. And Antti Ranta will be in net. He stopped 20 of 21 shots in Florida on Thursday night before coming out not playing the third period. Mike and Tripp are getting set for the Hurricanes and Blue Jackets next.
What was that? Wolves?
Nah, that's just an owl.
Are we far from home? I miss Mom.
Oh, we're just on the other side of the triangle, buddy. But you know what? Let's video chatter.
How's the boys' trip going?
Okay. Can you read me a story?
Let's call Grandpa. His ghost stories are legendary.
There's ghosts?
Well, how are my campers doing?
Fine. Grandpa, are there ghosts in the woods?
Nah, I scared them all away.
Okay, good. Can you both stay on the call all night?
Sure, dear.
Absolutely.
Hey, where's Dad?
He fell asleep.
AT&T brings the Triangle together. And by investing nearly $400 million in the Triangle network, we help keep you connected. No one has more wireless coverage here, even while camping. Visit an AT&T store to learn more. Coverage isn't available everywhere based on third-party data. Network investments based on 2019 to 2021 expenditure.
At Edwards Incorporated, our can-do attitude started when our founder came home from service as a U.S. Marine to start Edwards Incorporated with a pickup truck and a welding machine. Now, 40 years later, Edwards Incorporated has become a premier full-service industrial contractor specializing in mechanical, fabrication, pipe fabrication, specialty coatings, and cranes and rigging. We staff our projects with experienced leadership and teams of qualified craftsmen delivering exceptional service with an emphasis on safety, quality, and performance. Get to know us at edwardsinc.com.
Hey, Ed Vance for Advance Auto Parts here. Welcome to Ed Talk Radio, Episode 1. Who the heck is Ed Vance? Well, Ed Vance is a guy, me, who loves Advance Auto Parts. Not just because of the Ed Vance Advance thing. Ed Vance is a car lover. Ed Vance is a guy who loves die-hard batteries, oil bundles, and air fresheners. Ed Vance is not sure why he refers to himself in third person. Thanks for listening to my Ed Talk.
This is how we advance.
Getting ready for preseason game number 4 in season number 25 of Carolina Hurricanes hockey. Alongside Tripp Tracy, I'm Mike Maniscalco. Thanks so much for joining us here this evening. The Canes 3-0 in the preseason, taking on the team Tripp they'll face on opening night, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus 3-1-1 this preseason, and if you're Carolina, everything has been going the right way for you. So as we get to game number 4, what are the things that your eyes are going to be trained on?
Well, the Hurricanes we're going to see their top 4 defensemen dressed together for the first time. And Burns, who had a couple of goals against Florida on Saturday, and Jacob Slavin and Pesce and Shea. As good of a top 4 as there is in the National Hockey League. The ongoing battle and the fiercely competitive one for the third pair. Up front, you have some forwards in particular. Derek Stefan Nason, that really played well in Florida. As to who's going to grab those last couple of spots, should be a fun one.
And here we go. Play is underway. And the Canes start with Jesperi Kotkaniemi centering Marty Necas and Ryan Dzingel. He signed a 2-way contract this summer to come back to Carolina and trying to make the most of his opportunity here. They're joined on the blue line, as Tripp mentioned, a very veteran blue line tonight for the Canes. Their top 2 pairings are in the lineup for Rod Brind'Amour as Jacob Slavin and Brent Burns start out for the Canes. Brady Shea, Brett Pesce, and also Griffin Mendel and Ethan Bear will be the defensive pairings as the Canes. Kotkaniemi centers one for Burns on the backhand. That save's made by Tarasov. And Daniil Tarasov, who, as this puck goes out of play, we last saw on New Year's Day trip, and he was outstanding in that game. If you remember, he stopped 31 of 33 shots but got injured. Didn't come out for the third. A huge comeback win for the Canes in Columbus.
Well, he might be the future of the Columbus Blue Jackets, a 2017 third rounder. Heck of a feed from Kotkaniemi, playing in his third preseason game. And Burns mano-a-mano with the goaltender. An excellent early save for Tarasov.
And Tarasov, looking for more than just a cup of coffee, is now a break for Columbus, and a shot deflected on. Ronta makes the save as Justin Danforth, who's got 2 goals this preseason, put that on. Carolina sends the puck to the length of the ice. Icing. Draw will be coming back into the Hurricane zone, and 1 minute, 6 seconds has gone by so far here in this first period.
Yeah, I remember that New Year's game as we look at Danforth, who's been very good. Pesce gets back and makes a nice stick play, but John Davidson, who obviously knows goaltending, he and I spoke before that New Year's game, and Tarasov got hurt, but a very bright future.
A shot from the point doesn't get through as the Hurricanes. Mackenzie McEachern gets in front of that. Canes trying to bat the puck out of the zone, and they will successfully roll forward, and Columbus has to retreat back to their zone. A quick up for Liam Foudy. Foudy, a first-round pick, just can't stay healthy from 2018 trip. That's been part of it. He's a speedster. Now he's got the puck again on his tape into the Cane zone. Tries to spin-a-rama on Pesce. Pesce having none of it. Back to the point. It's worked back behind the net. Canes will get to it. Attempt to clear. Good forecheck put on by Josh Dunn. And the Canes have to reload. His step on. Looks for an out, and he'll get one. Puck goes as far as the Blue Jackets bench. Be picked up there by Ole Bjorkvik-Holm. Carolina will swat this back in the corner as Bjorkvik-Holm had no room for it. Columbus back on it, and will tip this back into the Cane zone. Ronta handles it in his crease, keeping the puck moving. Now deflected forward, and going after it is Jordan Martinook. Played behind the net by Tarasov, and he was loose with it, but bailed out by his defense. Columbus clears.
Good pressure from Martinook and the first man pursuit from Jamison Reese. That causes that turnover, nearly a delay of game penalty. Reese was moving his feet like he was, cutting the ice in half. Tremendous opportunity for Jamison to make an impression. The Hurricanes will play a young lineup in Buffalo tomorrow. Will he or will he not factor in?
A young line out on the ice now for the Canes as Ponomarev wins the draw. Back to Slavin. His shot goes just wide. Ponomarev centering Reese. And great to see Stelio Matthaios back in the lineup as we know his story. And if you are unfamiliar with it, third-round pick for the Canes in 2017. He helped the Canes AHL affiliate win a Calder Cup championship, and then 2 days later he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. He is clean and back playing. In fact, last year with the Wolves, 2 goals, 8 assists in 59 games played, and he's making his preseason debut this year in game number 4. Now Burns rockets one right on Tarasov, the save. Rebounds available. Tarasov will follow up with a save on Kotkaniemi. Canes keeping it in. Burns shot again. This one just wide. Kept in by Slavin. We get a whistle behind the play. That'll stop things with 16:48 left in the first.
Maybe. Let's see. Dan O'Rourke with the announcement coming up. Offensive zone.
Carolina, minor penalty, 82, high stick.
Kotkaniemi had a good shift. And Brett Burns already a couple of really good offensive looks. And Burns, I think a player of his veteran status, talked about how hard the skill works. Specifically that game Saturday against Florida. And that they get to the interior of the ice, and such was the case there before Kotkaniemi's high stick.
Now for the Hurricanes, their penalty killers will go to work for the first time tonight here. Columbus rocketing the puck around the top of their umbrella on the power play, just wide, and nobody there to keep it in, so all the way back to the Columbus blue line. And Igor Chinakhov will pick it up. Chinakhov is a player that they are high on in this Columbus organization, and Blue Jackets put themselves offside trying to gain zone entry. 28 seconds gone by on the high-sticking penalty to Kotkaniemi. Still no score in this one.
That one-timer grazed the post on the glove side of Antti Raanta. You could hear the ping Smart shot going against the grain. So a good look for Columbus with their power play umbrella.
Canes win the draw and able to clear this one back into the Columbus zone. Is no surprise. Jacob Slavin smartly hammers this down the length of the ice. Now it's Columbus. Adam Bolquist trying to gain the zone. And he doesn't. Puts Columbus offside. So Carolina doing a good job standing up the Blue Jackets at the Canes blue line.
Yeah, it was Derek Stepan. He gets a tap on the pants from Brett Burns because you want to prevent the entry or certainly create a dump-in situation. Then the hand-eye coordination of Stepan knocks the puck down and causes the offside.
And now Columbus will win the draw, but again puts themselves offside. So Brad Larson not happy with the entries right now, or lack thereof, from Columbus on this power play.
Hardest thing to do on a power play. And 9 days from now, of course, we'll see Patrick Laine on the power play, Zach Werenski on the power play, and Johnny Gaudreau on the power play for Columbus opening night.
And of course, a big offseason acquisition as Carolina clears the puck forward. Natchez shorthanded. His drive blocked by his former teammate Jake Bean. Natchez to the rebound. Sends it across the crease. Tarasov had to be ready for that. Canes are able to keep it in. 44 seconds left in the penalty to Kotkaniemi. Now a fan shot at the blue line allows Columbus a stretch pass too far. Unable to track that one down is Kirill Marchenko. Carolina gets to the loose puck. Plenty of room to send this. The wreck was at 190 feet as it's on Tarasov. And just 24 seconds left in the power play for Columbus.
Heady play by Ponomarev, coming down low all the way to the goal line to be an outlet as the Hurricanes defense change sides, and the easy clear for a smart young hockey player in Ponomarev.
Now the Canes will get to a loose puck and hammer this the rest of the way down the ice. Ponomarev again tripped. For a player of just 20 years of age, one of the things that has stood out, and the coaching staff has talked about his defensive stance and how well he is in his own zone with the puck, is out of the penalty box comes Kotkaniemi, and the Canes have successfully killed off the first power play for Columbus this evening. 14:42 left, puck goes out of play, and we'll have a face-off coming up outside the Canes blue line.
Ponomarev has obvious smarts. We watched him play in the prospect tournament. He's gifted offensively. He sees the ice very well, and then we noticed that he's fearless. And he just thinks the game very well. We've mentioned it, a big part of being able to come over to the American Hockey League during last season and adjust really seamlessly. He's had a nice preseason, scored a beautiful goal in Florida.
Yeah, power play goal Thursday night. And the Canes 5-2 win over the Florida Panthers down at Sunrise. Now the puck back in play, and Canes in control, deflecting this into the Columbus zone, but a little too far. Unable to gain center ice for Carolina. So we'll have a face-off coming all the way back into the Canes zone as Pesce was just on the other side of center ice.
Yeah, Nason didn't get a piece of it, but Jesperi Kotkaniemi out of the penalty box. It's always tough when it's a hard rim and the linesman has to anticipate who would get to the puck first. Kotkaniemi made it very close after having some body contact earlier in his shift.
Well, he'll take the draw against Danforth. Still tied up in the circle, and they'll score. Loose puck scooped up by Igor Chinikov. And he puts Columbus on the board first. 14:06 left in the opening frame, and Chinikov off the draw gets to a loose puck and hammers it home. 1-0 Columbus.
Carolina actually won the draw, did Kotkaniemi. And then Chinikov, Brady Shea was trying to play the puck. He wasn't able to corral it. But Chinikov in one motion turns and fires it. It's a soft goal for Antti Ranta. But you go back to the icing play.
And now, after the face-off after the goal, Columbus back into the Canes zone. Puck being fought for along the boards. Martinuk will get to it, not out, kept in by Boquist. They'll roll that through, and Ranta will play it. The Canes will aerial flip this. Bouncing puck to the Columbus blue line. Martinuk with it. Swatted away, and the Canes will keep it in. At the Columbus blue line, it was Burns, but he couldn't get his shot through, and that might have stung Chinikov, and it'll be icing against Columbus, and Chinikov is nursing that ankle that the Burns drive went off of.
When we get to the regular season, and Rod emphasizes this all the time, avoidable icings oftentimes come back to bite you. You don't worry so much about it in preseason hockey, but again, he'll have some wonderful video to really hammer home that point.
Face off to the right of Tarasov, won by Columbus. Foudy has it center ice. He'll leave it for Danforth. Now a opportunity for Columbus to set up shop, and with penalty coming up. Dangerous play along the boards is Marchenko. Took down
Jamison
Reese along the boards. Reese, though, on his skates heading to the bench, and will be heading to a timeout. 13-16 left in the first period. Columbus leads the Hurricanes 1-0 here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
Mike Maniscalco here, and I'm hanging out with my good friend Paul Auclair, the owner of Deep River Brewing Company and proud sponsor of your Carolina Hurricanes. Paul, tell us a little bit about Deep River Brewing Company.
Deep River Brewing Company is located at 700 West Main Street in historic downtown Clayton, North Carolina. Our brewery and tap room are open Wednesday through Sunday. We have 12 beers on tap and food trucks on site daily.
And you can find Deep River beer at local bottle shops, restaurants, and grocery stores. If you don't find Deep River at your local watering hole, make sure to ask for it by name. And remember, drink local.
Canes going on the power play, but a chance to look at the injuries and scratches tonight for Carolina, brought to you by UNC Health, the official healthcare provider of the Hurricanes. Max Pacioretty and Ryan Suzuki up front. An Achilles for Pacioretty, upper body for Suzuki, who did skate today in a yellow jersey at Canes practice. Jake Gardner with the upper body, and David Ferentz a concussion on the blue line trip. Canes power play has been very good this preseason, and they win the draw, and it goes back to Burns. We'll set it up for Jarvis, back to Burns. Carolina working it through the umbrella. Now Kotkaniemi. Burns up top inside the blue line to Jarvis at the top of the circle. Backhand pass Burns. Now Kotkaniemi goes cross ice for Jarvis and out of his reach, but Kotkaniemi comes across to make a play, and he's being bothered by Foudy, but able to get it back to Burns. Now Kotkaniemi, he walks it and scores! Wicked snapshot. Jesperi Kotkaniemi ties it at 1 on the power play for Carolina.
I am telling you, the puck has been exploding off of Kotkaniemi's stick in practice so far, in training camp and now the preseason. And for him to score from such a sharp angle, I mean, it's going to give him a boost of confidence. Gabranson, free agent signing for Columbus, tried to reach out and get a stick on it. The goaltender had a very clean look at it. I mean, Tarasov was just beaten with a perfectly placed rising laser high to the glove side, and that could really help Kotkaniemi's finishing confidence. I mean, that is just a big league shot against a goaltender who I think has a very bright future. What a release.
Canes right back to work. McEachern going after it in the Columbus zone. He's behind Tarasov's net, still fighting for it. Giving a hard shove and taken down to the ice is McEachern. Puck still loose. Now digging in for the puck is Nason. He'll get it to McEachern. McEachern, he gets it to Pesce. Pesce's shot goes wide. Correction, Bear. Now a chance put on by Mendel, and that'll roll through, and Tarasov will make the save, and meeting of the minds in front of the Columbus netminder.
Kotkaniemi's ability to distribute the puck, oftentimes in that bumper position last season, was very evident. You go back to his time in Montreal, Mike, he hasn't scored a ton of power play goals, and that's why scoring from the exterior like that, having belief in a rip-roaring shot, I mean, that could really do wonders for his finishing confidence for a goaltender. Rising shot like that, you always talk about your hands because you can't catch up to a rising shot, establishing a high glove position, but that was just a big leaguer from Jesperi.
Ponomarev waved out of the face-off circle to the right of Tarasov. Theos takes the draw, but Columbus gets to it. They clear the zone, but Carolina right back in on it. Reese giving chase. They're played around from Jake Bean, the former Carolina Hurricane first-round draft pick, but loose puck, and Columbus is able to clear. Back into the Kane zone behind Ronta's net. He'll step out to play it. Reese gets a stick to it. They'll fence this into the Columbus zone. Bean's got to go back and get it. They'll cycle it around for Victor Rask, another former Carolina Hurricane. As Rask, second-round draft pick of the Canes in 2011, trying to find a home with Columbus. Now the puck in the Canes end along the boards. Wrapped at by Theos, still in the Kane zone. Now Bear, he's got a shove waiting there for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Getting the puck out. Now Goodbranson from Calgary, as Tripp just mentioned, signed that free agent contract. A lot of people think part of the reason why Gaudreau ended up in Columbus is because of Goodbranson. They're good friends and kind of sold him on going to the Buckeye State.
Congratulations to Johnny Gaudreau and his wife Meredith on the birth of their daughter Noah today.
Neil Benstrom puts a shot on Ronta. He handles that easily, and Carolina will clear. A stretch pass from Stasny as he was looking for Jarvis, but that's deflected away, and Columbus will settle the puck down in their own zone. 10.5 remaining in the first period. And the Blue Jackets in possession of the puck. Good time to bring a new member to the family of the world trip. You get the preseason, a couple of days off here and there. You don't have to necessarily find your way as a veteran on the road for these games. So congratulations, as mentioned, to the Gaudreaus. Now for Carolina, DeZingle gets it in the zone. Nice one-touch pass across for Burns from Slavin. Now Slavin gets it to get to the blue line. His shot rocketed wide.
A growing chemistry of Burns and Slavin, that Slavin elected to pass that puck to a one-timing Brett Burns, and Burns just tried to locate the tape of Ryan DeZingle. And DeZingle just not quite, he had won the boxer, just not quite strong enough on that puck. Otherwise, it's 2-1 Carolina, but you can see the growing chemistry already and familiarity between Jacob Slavin and Brett Burns, and we'll look for it not just defensively, but offensively as well.
As this puck is deflected into the Columbus bench with 9:26 left in the first. So we will get a face-off and a stoppage of play. A tie game with 9:26 left in the first. Carolina and Columbus have ones on the board. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Hurricanes preseason hockey on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Haha, saved $1 a gallon.
Looks like the refs are going to review this one.
Wait, what?
Like the rest of us, they're wondering how Bill did that.
I just used my fuel points. I get them when I shop at Harris Teeter with my Vic card. I earn a point for every $1 I spend. It's pretty easy.
After further review, 1,000 Harris Teeter fuel points does indeed equal $1 off per gallon. The ruling on the field stands.
These Harris Teeter fans love Bill.
Is this going to happen every time I fill up?
Go to harristeeter.com and learn how you can fill like Bill.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Spectrum Paint. We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality, with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service, with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help you with all your painting projects. Spectrum Paint, official paint store of the Carolina Hurricanes. Visit SpectrumPaint.com for all 5 Triangle locations.
Oh, a little bit halfway past the first period. Alongside Trip Tracy, I'm Mike Maniscalco. Our technical engineer is John Brockwell. Carolina and Columbus tied at 1. And the goal scorer for the Canes, Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And Trip, you talk about him seeing the puck go in the net. He's had a pretty good preseason. He had 2 assists versus Tampa on the opening night of preseason. But what will it do for him? Again, I think the pressure of playing on the offer sheet is gone. He just has to be a player to get a goal this early in this game.
The big challenge for him is going to be defensively.
Now Columbus with a chance for a 2-on-1. That shot wide of Ronta's net. As the opportunity was there for Brendan Gaunce. And Columbus keeping the puck in the Kane zone. Boquist with it. He'll throw it into the corner. Pesci waiting for it. He's going to get some help from Nason. Columbus comes out with the puck. And the Canes will get a stick to it. And good play there just to knock it free by Derek Stepan.
And that's what I've liked so far from Kotkaniemi. He's had some physicality here in the first period. Can he play with the pace and the ability to sort things out defensively? Offensively, it's going to take care of itself. I do think for him to see the puck go in the back of the net, he looks stronger to me. As I mentioned earlier, I've noticed that his release looks deadly, and that goal should do wonders for him. But being able to play with pace and play with tenacity to be a reliable centerman defensively.
Now Bemstrom gets one into the centering spot for Cole Sillinger, and Ronta makes the save. Best save of the period for Ronta. Sillinger on the puck. He'll drop it back for Goodbranson. Goodbranson's shot is rocketed, and that'll be deflected out of play. Nice play by Reese at the point. We can get a little Columbus story out of the way, though. Nice thing tonight is Cole Sillinger, for the first time in his life, is playing with his older brother, Owen Sillinger.
Yeah, they took a picture, a cameo at the beginning of warm-ups, and the older Sillinger played at Bemidji State and then signed a free agent contract with Columbus at the conclusion of last season. Cole Sillinger did not look like a rookie at all. First-round pick out of the Western Hockey League, and he will probably he'll end up being a cornerstone player of this rebuilding Columbus franchise that did a ton of things in the summer to make themselves more competitive, make the Metropolitan Division even tougher.
Now, the 19-year-old Trip was the only first-rounder to play more than 10 games in the NHL last year. He played 79 for Columbus. The son of Mike Sillinger, former Blue Jacket. He was born in Columbus, so a little bit of symmetry there that he is drafted by the Blue Jackets. Now Carolina putting some pressure on in front of a deflection. That Tarasov has to make the save on. Stasny was out in front. Now getting a stick into the action there is Mendel, but the puck gets past the Chicago Wolf defender. Spent a couple of games with the Wolves last year. Played at Quinnipiac in his college hockey.
The instincts of Seth Jarvis. Jarvis has gotten better as the preseason has gone along, and the slippery nature of Stastny to get free in front.
Now Dzingel leaves it off for Natchez. Cuts to the front. Tarasov makes the save. Good play by Natchez as he went backhand, forehand, but Tarasov with the answer.
He had that explosive couple of steps that created separation. Natchez receiving that transition pass from Dzingel.
And now Chinakhov, the goal scorer for Columbus, trying to make life difficult for the Canes, but Carolina able to get the puck out. Slavin with a good job, but sent right back in by Jake Bean into the Hurricane zone. Now Slavin, loose puck to the side of his net. Work that free, and up for Dzingel, just out of the Canes' forward reach, and Carolina will make a change as Dzingel goes to the bench. Blue Jackets on the puck. This one will be wrapped into the Cane zone. Looking for a hard rim there was Nick Blankenberg, former Michigan Wolverine product. The defenseman as this puck rolls its way into the Columbus zone. Good work by the Canes to fight off an icing. Now working into the corner for it is Stepan. Throws it behind the net for Nason. Nason entangled with Goodbranson for a second. Canes keep it in. Shea's shot deflected. Tarasov with a save. Rebounds there to score. Follow the bouncing puck into the net, and Carolina takes a 2-1 lead.
Some guys are just gifted with the ability to score goals, and Stefan Nason has his second preseason goal. Really an all-around play for Nason. He tied a guy up along the wall that allowed Brady Shea not only to keep the puck in, but get to the middle and get it to the front of the net. Stepan was also there on the wall and did some heavy lifting. So two righties factoring in. Stepan along the wall that allows Shea to get it through, and Stepan Nason, who has good size. We know he scored 48 last year. He has 2 in the preseason. Wins a one-on-one battle and cashes on the rebound.
Yeah, 48 with the Wolves last year in the AHL, helping Chicago win the Calder Cup. Had a good line this preseason trip. He goes, you're not going to see a lot of his goals on the highlight reel because they come from 6 feet and in, but that's where the majority of goals in this league are scored, and it's a highlight reel goal anytime you can light the lamp. And Nason, as you mentioned, some guys are just good at that, finding that space and able to deflect it past the goaltender.
Competition. I mean, Stepan, as I said, he's a critical part of that goal, and Nason being able to find the back of the net just continues to do what he does.
Canes back into the Columbus zone. Jarvis with it at the top of the left circle. Get it down. He's headed there for Reese. Now it'll be deflected up in the air and back out to center ice where Bear tracks it down. Now up for Reese as the Canes have to make a change. Reese tries to get the puck in deep, but Bean cuts it off. Bean and Reese eyeball each other, and Bean's pass misses the intended target of Meyer. Rolls in on Ronta, and the Canes roll the puck back into the Columbus zone. This will make it for an icing. Stopping play with 4:49 left here in the first. 2-1 Hurricanes lead.
Man, the competition just continues to heat right up. Stepan, beautiful shorthanded goal in Florida. Part of that goal. Nason is second in as many games. 1 on the power play. They're at even strength. He's a big guy that can skate. Jack Drury, who's played 2 games, will play tomorrow in Buffalo, I would certainly assume. It has fierce competition for limited spots.
Play resumes, and that's the one thing that has been talked about all during this preseason, all during this training camp trip, is there are going to be players who have NHL talent who are going to be sent down to Chicago, and the competition continues. It's not just for spots on the roster, but where you fit once you get on this roster and playing time that's available, and as a great thing, a great problem to have, as they would say.
And I thought what Rod said this morning, that making sure to remind himself and promise himself, you thought you were going to play 6, we have a whistle on the play, a high stick, that to remind himself as we go to commercial, you know, to wait the entirety of the 5 games before you make any decisions, and just to constantly remind himself of just that, because there are impressions yet to be made. You want to go through the fruition and then obviously have a conversation. It's going to be a hard one because there have been some great efforts.
Well, wait with us through this break, and when we come back, the final 4:07 of the first period, where Carolina has a 2-1 lead over Columbus here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
4:07 left in the first period here on the Hurricanes Radio Network with Trip Chasing. I'm Mike Maniscalco. Canes enjoying a 2-1 lead. Power play goal by Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and then Stefan Nason doing what he does, his second goal of the preseason from about 4 feet out. Put one past Daniil Tarasov. Igor Chinikov, the lone goal scorer for Columbus here in the opening frame, and it's where we are. And again, competition everywhere. One other thing, Trip, I wanted to follow up with you about this Columbus team, speaking of competition, adding Johnny Gaudreau, getting Patrick Laine to extend and stay in Columbus. The competition that'll be in the Metro Division. I don't see too many places where you're going to get a free lunch. You know, Philly's got some issues if we're going to look at the bottom of the division, but the rest of the way, it's going to be a meat grinder this year.
Oh, it might take 100 points to make the playoffs in the East.
Now a chance for Burns, and he rockets one over the top of the Columbus net. Carolina keeping it back in. Slavin works his way down the wall. His pass interrupted. He'll get it right back, and he'll exchange with Natchez. Natchez tries to think about going cross-ice. Little spin move. Gets it down to Dzingel. Back to Natchez. Off the backboards for Dzingel. Good read of the play by Blankenberg, and Columbus will be able to clear. Just as far as center ice. Good stick by Burns. He'll get it to Natchez. Natchez rockets one off of the shoulder of Tarasov. Rebound comes all the way out to Marchenko for Columbus. He'll ease this into the Kane zone.
Fitness, habits, loving the way Carolina plays. Brett Burns is at the end of his shift. Easily could have had a sag. And he's still, as he was getting ready mentally to get off the ice with his reach, being one of the bigger defensemen in the league, turned the puck over because he had a tight gap, and all of a sudden Marty Natchez gets a pretty darn good opportunity. That's a veteran finishing his shift on time with that tight gap to turn that puck over.
Now Brady Shea going Bobby Orr, going almost coast to coast, gets the puck into the Columbus zone and deep. Worked around the boards, but it'll be popped out by Eric Robinson. And it'll just go straight to the neutral zone where the Canes are on it. Back to Shea. Shea, a long wrist shot. That's seen the whole way, and Tarasov catches that and will hang on.
One other note, you were talking about what's going to be the ultra-competitive Metropolitan Division, but I just give the Hurricanes a lot of credit because last year, you know, they made a concerted effort to sprinkle some really quality veterans into the Chicago Wolves. You win a championship. You look at December when you had a bunch of guys in COVID protocol, whether it be how Nason played during the season, Levo, Andrew Podorowski. Then you have young prospects like a Jack Drury. Hopefully Ryan Suzuki, who you mentioned skated this morning, will be healthy this year. Thought he had a good preseason. But making the commitment to get some proven veterans in the American Hockey League who, if need be, can play, you know, I thought was a really good organizational decision that has already paid big-time dividends for the Carolina Hurricanes.
And now Columbus will get to a puck, but a good play. Speaking of a proven veteran, Paul Stastny bothering Josh Dunn and forcing Columbus offside. So face off with 1:53 left here in the first period. Will come outside of the Hurricanes' blue line.
Getting to the net first, you know, we often talk about, you know, having courage to do it, but a lot of it's mental too. Jarvis set up Stastny earlier in the period. Stastny nearly scored just because of his mind, spinning off of the box out at the right time and getting on the attacking side of the puck. You can't teach the mind that he has.
Now Ponomarev goes into the corner for Carolina. He'll get it to Mendel. His shot right on. Tarasov has some problems with it, but he'll find a way to freeze that with Carolina providing some net front. Good work done there by Stelio Matheos and Jamison Reese after this shot was put on from distance by Griffin Mendel.
Well, Reese in the same spot that Stepan won a board battle that led to Stefan Nason's goal. Reese gave the opportunity to the defense by working on the exterior of the rink, and I think that hit Jake Bean on the way in. And as a result, Griffin Mendel nearly had his first goal in a National Hockey League jersey.
Minute 35 left here in the first period as Mendel tried to rim it around and hit a stanchion, took a funky bounce, and Columbus is able to get to it. As far as the Canes' blue line, but a stout defensive play by Mendel. He'll get it up to Reese. He turns it into the Columbus zone. A little forehand shot right on Tarasov. Makes the save. Oh, Reese made a sneaky good scoring chance out of nothing there.
He's had a good first period. He was noticeable from his first shift.
Mendel with a keep in for a moment, but Columbus to a loose puck. As we're in the waning minute here of the first period. 2-1 Hurricanes lead over the Blue Jackets. Columbus scored first, Carolina with 2 for the answer. Now Columbus with a quick shot as Bemstrom's shot goes off the mask of Ranta. Puck into the corner, worked back to the point. And couldn't be kept in by Boquist. He works it across for Bean. Bean, he's trying to clear. Had a little trouble with that. Puck gets behind Burns, and a 2-on-1 coming up for Columbus. But a great play by Slavin to get back and recover as Cole Sillinger couldn't snap this shot off as Slavin does what he does best.
Yeah, and Kokaniemi got back. You're going to have to know when Burns is on the ice. He is going to jump. So you need help. Slavin does what he does, but Kokaniemi, as the centerman, got back and essentially made that a 2-on-2 so Slavin could get even more aggressive with his stick.
10 seconds left in the period. McEachern fighting behind the Columbus net, gets the puck up for middle. No score! Slavin at the point. Carolina puts one on net, and with 4.9 seconds left in the first period, the Canes go up 3-1 with a deflection out front from Derek Stepan.
Stepan, Mike, now is factored in on 2 of the 3 Carolina goals. It was his board battle on the Nason goal. And here not only did he get McEachern to factor in, but not only did Stepan get to the front of the net by himself, had a really good awareness of where he could be and where the crease began. No goaltender interference, which I'm sure was part of his mindset. Gets a stick on it. Stepan's had 4 very good periods of hockey in the preseason games he's competed in.
Yes, he's here on a PTO and making the strong case to stay here. Carolina, they went down 1-0, 5 minutes and 54 seconds in the first, and then they score 3 in a row. The last one, Derek Stepan from Slavin and Mackenzie McEachern. In 20 minutes in the books, Carolina has a 3-1 lead over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Coming up, Adam Gold has the intermission report right here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Dunkin' is already ready for you to fall hard because fall starts whenever you say it starts, which means it's time for you to get your fall refresh. Grab a new Blood Orange Dunkin' Refresher. Blood orange and cranberry flavors mixed with fall spices. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
All included. It's Ram Power Days. Come get your Ram 1500 while there's 0% on all 2022 Ram 1500 Classic Bighorn packages and Laramies. Plus 0% for 72 months on 2022 Gladiator Overland packages now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
America's leading internet provider just got even faster. Switch to Spectrum Internet and you now get starting speeds of up to 300 megabits per second. Faster speeds for streaming, faster speeds for gaming, faster speeds for working or learning. All with 99.9% network reliability. So no matter what you do online, you can do it better, safer, and now even faster with Spectrum Internet. Visit Spectrum.com for details. Based on internet subscribers among top ISPs, speeds may vary. Restrictions apply.
Back inside PNC Arena, I am Adam Gold and the Hurricanes with a 3-1 lead on the Columbus Blue Jackets. For the first time in the preseason, Hurricanes yielded the first goal. It was Igor Chinnikov who had won a battle in the faceoff circle after, I guess, beating Jesperi Kokaniemi at the draw, and then just kind of whipped it past Antti Ranta for 1-0. It was 5:54 of the first. But then the Hurricanes went to work. Jesperi Kotkaniemi with a wired wrist shot from the left faceoff circle beat Daniil Tarasov. That tied the score. Then Stefan Nason, who they're going to call the garbage man, he found a loose puck in front and flipped it over Tarasov for 2-1. And then with 4.9 left in the period, Jacob Slavin flipped one in from the blue line, and Derek Stepan deflected it past Tarasov. It is 3-1 Carolina. A very, very strong opening period from Stepan, who is trying to make this team. He's here on a professional tryout. And he was one of, if not the best player on the ice for the Hurricanes, and it's not unlike the way he played at Florida 5 days ago, last Thursday, where he was absolutely outstanding, scored a shorthanded goal on that, made a number of good plays shorthanded in this one. We'll come back and we'll check the highlights. I am Adam Gold. This is the Hurricanes hockey. They lead 3-1.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Spectrum Paint. We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality, with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service, with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help you with all your painting projects. Spectrum Paint, official paint store of the Carolina Hurricanes. Visit SpectrumPaint.com for all 5 Triangle locations.
As the official security partner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Vector Security is invested in the success of everyone in the Triangle. If you run a business here, they understand your primary focus is serving your customers, and a big part of that is making sure your customers, your employees, and your inventory are all safe and secure. Vector Security can help. Schedule a free business security health check today, and one of their local security experts will help assess your needs. Visit them online at vectorsecurity.com/Canes to learn more.
Adam Gold inside PNC Arena. Hurricanes with a 3-1 lead on the Blue Jackets. PNC Bank brings you the first intermission, the official bank of the Carolina Hurricanes. How did we get to 3-1? Well, we'll find out. First period highlights, thanks to Spectrum Paint, official paint store of the Carolina Hurricanes. Columbus scored first. It's 1-0, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who lost the faceoff that led to the Columbus goal, decided to take matters into his own hands and wired one past Daniil Tarasov for 1-1.
Out of his reach, but Kotkaniemi comes across to make a play, and he's being bothered by Foodie, but able to get it back to Burns. Now Kotkaniemi, he walks it and scores! Oh, wicked snapshot. Jesperi Kotkaniemi ties it at 1 on the power play for Carolina.
Hurricanes been doing great work from the left faceoff circle. I think they got 4 goals in the postseason from the preseason, right off basically at the same spot. So 1-1. Let's make it 2-1, and we'll let Stefan Nason be the garbage man. He picks up a loose puck in front.
Now working into the corner for it is Stepan. Throws it behind the net for Nason. Nason entangled with Gudbranson for a second. Canes keep it in. Shea's shot deflected. Tarasov with the save. Rebounds there to the score. Follow the bouncing puck into the net, and Carolina takes a 2-1 lead.
Excellent work on that play. Nason behind the net to create the opportunity. Stepan winning a board battle along the left side, and Brady Shea puts it on net. And man, Stefan Nason, his second goal of the preseason, and he's combined about 9 feet away from the net. And then very late in the period, with Derek Stepan in front, Jacob Slavin flips one in from the left point, and it's 3-1.
10 seconds left in the period. McEachern fighting behind the Columbus net, gets the puck up for middle. No score! Slavin at the point. Carolina puts one on net, and with 4.9 seconds left in the first period, the Canes go up 3-1 with a deflection out front from Derek Stepan.
Bunch of hard work, everything right in front. Stepan's second of the preseason, and Carolina leads by the score of 3-1. Limited season ticket membership packages are still available. Don't miss out on your chance to get discounts on tickets, merchandising, concessions. Visit a concourse sales table or hurricanes.com/STM for more information. My conversation with Hurricanes head coach Rod Brindamore next on the PNC Bank Intermission Report.
Are you ready? At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. That's why MVP's rewards members can earn bonus points on select products from brands like DeWalt, Purdy Paint Applicators, and GRK Screws. Then redeem your bonus points for exciting rewards like tools, grills, Lowe's gift cards, and more. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details. Now through 10/28. Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Back here at PNC Arena with the Hurricanes leading the Blue Jackets by a 3-1 score, 18-7 shots on goal advantage for Carolina. It's the PNC Bank Intermission Report, PNC Bank, official bank of the Carolina Hurricanes. Time to chat with the head coach, Rod Brindamore, and his analysis is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Advance your auto. We talked about in the pregame of a bunch of guys who are trying to make this roster, all making good impressions. A tough, I guess a good problem to have.
Well, I think we got to, the guys that I wasn't really sure about, I mean, as far as not knowing how they play, I'm sure about them because we've had them here for a long time, meaning months training and everything. I think their play is pretty impressive, so I think that's good. Some of the young guys have done well. It's been a good, really, 3 games. I couldn't ask for a better performance. I mean, we've pretty much dominated all 3 games, pretty much the whole game, which has been great. I mean, shift after shift, guys playing really hard. You kind of wish those games did count, to be honest with you, because it's exactly how you want to do it. So it's been good.
Yeah, and you get a guy like Brent Burns, who plays 1 game, scores 2 goals. Andre's got 2 goals. Martin Necas scores. You couldn't have drawn it up in terms of the players who also impressed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see. I mean, we have some, I don't want to say questions, but you just want to see those guys, look good. Obviously, the competition wasn't there. I mean, most of those games were against not their top guys. The 1 game they did have in, though, was all our young guys and played really well. So, it's really just trying to now get through this and not pick up bad habits, make sure we're doing things right so that we can continue this on when it does count.
Because training camp, preceded these, and we've had all sorts of weird things happen with the Hurricane. The next couple of games you got to get work done, but are you now just thinking, all right, let's just get ready for what's happening on the 12th?
Pretty much. I mean, you don't want to look ahead. Obviously, you got to take care of your business, and the main thing is make sure we don't pick up bad habits. Like, that's what I don't want to see is things not, guys letting off the kind of the gas, so to speak, because then we will pick up bad habits, and now we got to work twice as hard to get rid of them. So if we can just, keep moving forward in that positive direction, that'll be great. The guys they work so hard in the off season, and they're ready to go. Like we dropped the puck. They probably need to look at it some way, just shorten preseason games down. Nobody wants to play them because the guys are in shape,
right?
And so, I mean, I get it, but it's maybe add regular season games in, make game, kind of what the NFL did in a way. Didn't they take away a preseason game and add one?
Yes.
I mean, then you can get your best players playing them all the time. Be a little more exciting.
All right. Are you still looking at certain guys?
Yeah.
I know, and we have different combinations tonight. Are you going to mix and match?
Yeah, there's still, we got to make decisions here next, week. We're within a week here, and obviously we have 2 games left to make those. So, the play here is going to matter to a lot of guys as far as do they stay or not. I mean, I think there's still we talked about this last game. Our D's still up in the air a little bit, and then there's still room on this forward group that we got to kind of figure out the pieces. I mean, we know we're pretty confident in both,
right?
Whichever way we end up going, but we got to make those decisions.
It was funny. I was talking to Calvin DeHaan on Saturday, and he was still on a PTO. And by the time I got upstairs, he had already signed a contract. Look at that.
Yeah, so he was holding out on you. I'm sure he knew.
He brought it up.
He must have known something.
He must have.
Yeah.
Very sneaky.
Yeah. He didn't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Ronta tonight. So is he going to go the full 60 or 40 and then
let's see. I mean, again, it's that time of year where any little thing goes on, you're probably taking those guys out, and that's pretty much what happened the other night. So nothing serious. Obviously, he wouldn't be playing, but I'd like to see him get a full game in here.
KNX hockey season is back. That means it's tailgating season at PNC Arena. You can get everything you need for your Caniac tailgates at your local Harris Teeter Longtime partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Shop in-store, online, or on the go with the Harris Teeter app. Back with a check of the NHL scoreboard after this word from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired their personal trainer as a caterer.
All right, folks, let's keep this line moving. You there with the tongs. Picking up one Duchess potato at a time will not cut it at my catering table. Drop and give me 50.
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Okay, this is what we call the wild mushroom and asparagus dip, and press. Come on, let's get those plates above your heads.
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
Cooling off, and if you haven't already, you'll be firing up your furnace, literally. Before you do, call Any Day Heating and Cooling. Did you know your furnace has a literal fire in it? The National Fire Protection Agency estimates that over 48,000 fires a year are caused by heating equipment. Keep that fire under control and get a combo tune-up from Any Day. For just $59, Any Day will tune up your unit for both heating and cooling. FOGO, any day, anytime. Call Any Day at 919-205-8916. Any Day is the only way.
Carolina Hurricanes with a 3-1 lead on the Columbus Blue Jackets as we are through one period here at PNC Arena. Time for a quick check of the NHL scoreboard. Brought to you by Cardinal Apparel, proud partner and t-shirt provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. New Jersey with a 1-0 lead on Boston after one. Thomas Tatar with the goal. And Toronto has a 2-0 lead on Montreal in a battle of original six, which would take on a lot more meaning if it wasn't a preseason friendly. But the Maple Leafs with a 2-0 lead on Montreal. Here, Carolina doing a lot of work in front of the net and doing it very, very well. Stefan Noesen, Derek Stepan essentially with goals from the top of the crease. Jesperi Kotkaniemi from the left faceoff circle with his wrist shot. And those are your three Carolina goal scorers. Just could point out that Derek Stepan had an outstanding period, but he wasn't the only one. Martin Necas also played very well. Kotkaniemi hustle played defensively and was obviously very good, and I thought Brent Burns very strong in the first period as well. I am Adam Gold, Mike Maniscalco, and Trip Tracy all ready for the second leg of this journey. Back with the call of the second period next.
Mike Maniscalco here, and I'm hanging out with my good friend Paul Auclair, the owner of Deep River Brewing Company and proud sponsor of your Carolina Hurricanes. Paul, tell us a little bit about Deep River Brewing Company.
Deep River Brewing Company is located at 700 West Main Street in historic downtown Clayton, North Carolina. Our brewery and tap room are open Wednesday through Sunday. We have 12 beers on tap and food trucks on site daily.
And you can find Deep River beer at local bottle shops, restaurants, and grocery stores. If you don't find Deep River at your local watering hole, make sure to ask for it by name. And remember, drink local.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the Kale Crunch Salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for the testimonials.
Hey Hurricanes fans, no matter how you celebrate game day, it's all about the food. And Harris Teeter has everything you need. Delicious subs and wraps, fresh hot store-made pizza, all sizes of party platters or ready-to-serve wing trays, just to name a few. Plus, with Harris Teeter fuel points, you can earn free fuel with every purchase you make, up to $1 off per gallon. Stop at your Harris Teeter for great savings on all your game day needs, or download the HT app to order ahead. Harris Teeter, where Hurricanes fans shop for groceries.
Getting ready to start the second period here at PNC Arena. John Brockwell is our technical engineer. Our producer, we've got guests in the booth. Our producer on the TV side, Jim Malia, checking out to see what we do here, Chip Tracy. He liked the first period. What did you like from the first period for the Carolina Hurricanes?
It was only the second time in the preseason. That's how good the Hurricanes have been, that they've trailed. I just love the way that they push back. The power play continues to scorch. I thought Kotkaniemi had an excellent period. And, again, these very difficult but fabulous conversations that are coming up this week. Derek Stepan was, for me, a pivotal part of 2 goals, and one of those goals scored by another guy trying to make the roster, and Stefan Nason. So, ho-hum, another really good period for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Well, the second period is underway. Kotkaniemi gives chase in the corner. Pesce jumps in from his defensive position. We get it to Kotkaniemi, back to Pesce. He goes across ice. Shea, he's shot right on. Tarasov makes a save. Rebound to Pesce. Across for Kotkaniemi. He'll work it for Natchez. He'll spin his shot out in front, and the rebound is controlled by Tarasov on the backhand chance for Dzingel. Ryan Dzingel got to the loose puck, and Tarasov catches that. He'll hang on. Great scoring chance early for Carolina.
Well, it began with Brady Shea's 4th shot of the game on his first shot of the second period. Another encouraging moment for Natchez, who's had a lot of jump. He was not able to get on the attacking side of the puck, but still got his stick free, got a shot through. Dzingel was able to push off and get to a second opportunity.
Now Stastny wins the draw back to Burns. His shot flutters in on Tarasov, makes the save. Rebound chance. That's pushed just wide by Seth Jarvis, who seems to get himself in scoring position all the time for this Canes team here this preseason. Now Burns with a keep in as he jumped into the top of the face-off circle. Martinook's backhand. That goes off the body of Gabranson, and away comes Liam Foudy. Throw the puck into the Hurricane zone. Foudy will give chase. He'll get to it. He'll curl around. He'll exchange the puck with Jake Bean. Bean, he goes cross ice for his defensive partner Boquist. Back to Bean. Keep in at the blue line. His wrister deflected wide. Now a chance for Carolina to clear, and they will. Good play by Jarvis to ensure this puck gets in deep with the long changes here in the second period. His 4 teammates get off the ice, and Jarvis will get an opportunity to jump off. Good play by Mackenzie McEachern as he lays the body on Jake Christensen. McEachern played with St. Louis last year, getting an opportunity here in Carolina. Now he'll exchange the puck with Nason. Back for Stepan, who throws it in the corner. Christensen given a shove again by McEachern. Carolina keeps the puck in. Stepan. His pass goes to Mendel right on, and Tarasov with the save. Bear with the keep in at the blue line. Trying to gain possession for Carolina is Stepan in the neutral zone. He throws it in deep. Smart play off the backboards for Nason, but Nason couldn't get the shot off, and the puck goes to the corner. Now Columbus. Danforth throws it forward. Skating after it's Mendel. Mendel's being watched by Kirill Marchenko, the goal scorer for Columbus. Canes, though, easy exit out of the zone. 2.5 gone by in the second period. Shot by Matheos. That is blocked, and that goes out of play. And afterwards, a little extra shove given by Gudbranson to the Canes forward.
Prior to that, really a complete shift. Start to finish, all 3 contestants by Mackenzie McEachern, Derek Stepan, and Stefan Nason. McEachern, who factored in on one of the first period goals, particularly good. Stepan and company involving the defense, but I mean that was a quality shift by those 3 players, all 3 who have NHL experience.
Shea's drive bounces in the air, loose puck out in front. Ponomarev tries to settle it down. Instead it goes back to Pesce. His shot pinballs off of Matheos just wide of Tarasov's net. And now Bjorkvik Holm trying to clear. Canes doing a good job to keep in, and now just out of the reach of Pesce. Carolina has to tag up. They'll make a change.
Young Vasily Ponomarev caught a high stick, undetected, and went right off and went to the Hurricanes dressing room.
Now a stretch pass intended for Dunn, too far, but Columbus gains possession in the Canes zone. Gaunt's with it. His drive goes off a leg behind the Canes net. Carolina will clear. Smart play by Pesce to go high through the zone. Dzingel tried to track it down. And we just throw him back into the Columbus end. Pesce goes off for a change. And Barron Mendel will be paired up again on the blue line for Carolina, and Columbus throws this bucket in the Cane zone. It'll be icing. 16:25 left in the second. Canes out shooting the Blue Jackets 20-7, Trip. Well, that is a familiar tale so far this preseason.
Sure is, and good news, Ponomarev comes right back to the Canes bench. Pesce just finished a shift. I was sitting with Max Pacioretty last week. He said, Trip, I had no idea how good Brett Pesce is. And, he just his last shift, the way that, his quickness. He gets to loose pucks, always seems to make the right play to break the puck out. But quality praise from his new teammate, Max Pacioretty, as Max and I were watching practice one day.
Haven't you found that's kind of been the book? We can start it with Jacob Slavin, but also Brett Pesce, that when we ask that question, is there something about your teammates or your time here that you didn't know? It usually always goes to, I knew they were good, I didn't know, and then insert Jacob Slavin or Brett Pesce's name for how good they are to play against and see him every day.
Yeah, I think everybody seems to know, because there's been a lot of chatter about Slavin. He wins the Lady Byng. But it's the efficiency of both guys, unless you're watching them on a nightly basis, until you actually see it every day. You don't recognize just how efficient they both are.
Now Columbus into the Cane zone. Justin Danforth tries to send it around for Bean, but Bean cut off by Jarvis. Canes try to get it to Martinook out of his reach. Boquist goes back behind his net to get it, but a good forecheck by Martinook out in front. Centering pass, and that's a big save by Tarasov as Martinook nearly sets up Stasny. Now the other way, it's Columbus into the Cane zone. Good hustle by Martinook, and a great play in his own end by Brent Burns as he takes the puck away by Marchenko. As the veteran says, I'll take that puck, and now he'll get it back, and he throws one down the center of the ice onto the blade of McEachern into the Columbus zone. Great defensive play made by Boquist as McEachern just hesitated for a second. That gave Boquist enough time to recover. And now Columbus trying to clear. Bean with it on his stick. Just flip this out to center ice. Canes knock it down. Shea back in the Columbus zone. Carolina's got to complete a change.
Yeah, Brett Burns, I love to see him make a tape-to-tape pass there. It leads to a terrific chance. Really good play from the former Chicago Blackhawk, Boquist. But the way that he has exited the zone, oftentimes leading to an immediate offensive opportunity.
Now the chance there by Robinson out in front. That's deflected out of play and into the crowd, stopping things with 14 minutes, 13 seconds left here in the second period. And a lucky fan from Carey as a souvenir.
I mentioned it on Saturday afternoon's broadcast that opponents that play against Carolina for 82 games, they're all going to say, hey, no, you can't go to sleep on Brett Burns. Right. But his teammates, you can't nod off for even a second, because he's going to find you. And he just did up the ice. Before that, I thought Martinook made a good decision not to get on the body, instead just to tie up a stick, and he sets up Stasny.
Going to bring it into the basketball parlance here in Carolina. It's like playing with a great point guard who sees the court. Now Columbus gets to a loose puck off the draw, and a spinning shot by Victor Rask. Save made by Ronta. Now the puck spindles its way back into the Columbus zone. Rask with a golden chance there, and now the Canes Reese trying to create an opportunity. Good hand-eye coordination by Mathias to keep it in, but Columbus is able to clear. As Blankenberg got it out to center ice, and now a penalty coming up to Carolina. And Branson took exception to the hit by Mathias. They had something going in the first period. Now they got something going now, as it was Mathias who delivered the big hit in front of the Columbus bench. And Branson taking exception to that. He wants a piece of the Canes forward. Linesmen are in on it. Ethan Bear's in the middle of it. Jumping in to do his best job to keep anything else from happening is Johnny Murray, the linesman. Jamison Reese had something going behind the play as well with Carson Meyer. Nothing there. A rousing applause for the Canes forward. Mathias as he heads to the bench. We'll get it all sorted out. 13:42 left here in the second period. I'll tell you the penalties when we come back. Carolina with a 3-1 lead over the Blue Jackets here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the kale crunch salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one great team, UNC Health is keeping you well by bringing renewed focus, approach, and dedicated services close to you. Exceptional care is what you and your family deserve. Together, let's put points on the board for life well played. Team up with UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
As the official security partner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Vector Security is invested in the success of everyone in the Triangle. If you run a business here, they understand your primary focus is serving your customers, and a big part of that is making sure your customers, your employees, and your inventory are all safe and secure. Vector Security can help. Schedule a free business security health check today, and one of their local security experts will help assess your needs. Visit them online at vectorsecurity.com/Canes to learn more.
We told you we'd get all the penalties sorted out, but we still have a conference going on, and the Blue Jackets are going to make a goaltending switch as well with 13:42 left here in the second period.
Here's the announcement coming. You can't hear it, unfortunately. It's a board to Mateos, and I think Branson for sure got an instigator. Question is, they just have the 2 minutes on the board to Stelio.
Yeah.
Now, something to think about. Now the referees are putting on their headset.
We're going to look at the tablet.
An adjustment this year. By the way, if you call a major penalty in the past, so in this case a boarding penalty, in the past you could just reduce it to a minor. You can't take it off the board. Now you can take it completely off the board. So that's an adjustment, and I watched the two referees and the linesmen. I mean, they had communication the entire commercial timeout. And now I think they're getting some practice in here because you're going to utilize the tablet, and that's a definite adjustment and a good one by the league. That if you find it to be a clean hit, you can take it completely off the board.
Well, what has been signaled right now, though, and as far as the penalties go, Branson has been given 2 for roughing, and Mateos has got the 2 for boarding. And again, they must have
maybe. I don't know if that was a breakdown in communication because they wouldn't have the tablets out if they weren't looking at a major penalty. So, and then Gabranson comes all the way up the ice, so I would certainly expect that he'll get an instigator. He's doing what he was brought in to do. Let's see here.
Again, O'Rourke's microphone is not working. Dan O'Rourke, the official, he and Morgan McPhee.
They must have called a major penalty. I don't know if they upheld it, reduced it, knocked it. Well, they obviously didn't knock it off because that's the only reason they would have had the tablets out. And when we start for real against Columbus, again, that's an adjustment to the rules this season. That you can wipe it completely off the board if you utilize the technology and determine that it's a clean hit after the fact.
Oh, Emil Bemstrom is heading to the penalty box for Columbus, which we could only posit to guess that there is that instigator penalty you were talking about to Branson, who flew from center ice all the way down to the far corner to jump on the Canes forward, Stelio Mateos, and that's what's on the board right now. The 2 minutes that Bemstrom's going to be serving for Gudbranson, so I'm imagining that Gudbranson is going to have a couple of more minutes tacked onto his ledger.
Yeah, so this makes me think the initial minor, they may have called the major, and they might have wiped it completely off the board.
Well,
because otherwise Carolina Theos would have a 2-minute minor.
Number 44, Eric Gudbranson. Either way, the Hurricanes are on the power play and a chance right out in front for Jarvis. And Jet Graves, first shot he has to face is from point blank, and he'll make the save and hang on. 11 seconds into the power play.
Really good puck movement. The seam pass. Stastny got to a loose puck. Got it to Natchez. Natchez continues to look sharp. And got it over to Jarvis, and Jarvis got it off quickly. Just an excellent save from Tarasov.
Canes win the draw. And Jet Graves is taking over the goaltending position, and he's going to give up his first as Brent Burns with an absolute rocket from the point on the power play. He's put Carolina up 4-1.
Come up with the power play puck possession. Natchez, I mean, this is just the preseason, but he looks like a different player. And that's what Brent Burns can do, is he can beat you, whether the goaltender just coming into the game has a clean look or not. You know, last year with the terrific year that Tony DeAngelo had, Tony DeAngelo didn't have that intimidating shot that Dougie Hamilton had prior to Brent Burns. And Brent Burns certainly has now. And did he ever lean into that and just blow it by a goaltender, just trying to get himself acclimated to the game?
Absolute laser beam from Burns. No chance for Graves to make the save there. And now a rolling opportunity is loose out in front, and Graves will catch that and hang on. Stopping play with 13:06 left, and for Burns, a fine how do you do to Raleigh. 3 goals in 2 games for the Canes defensemen. Give Natchez and Jarvis the power play assist.
I loved his commentary after the game on Saturday. You know, he was, as you know, it's just a preseason game, and he went out of his way to say, hey, it matters. He wants to make a good first impression with his new organization, that he was immediately excited to join after the trade, and has he ever. And I just love the professional that he is. You know, it's a preseason game, but to him, it matters.
Well, the Canes fans should be excited as another opportunity, and Graves makes the best save since coming into the game a moment ago as he gets in front of the Nason blast from 4 feet away. Now Nason back with it, centering it across, and a chance for Kotkaniemi, and that's pushed just wide. Now back along the boards, Bean fighting for it. Worked free, and now skating the puck to safety is Victor Rask. He just exits the zone with it. Canes turn it right back. Pesce has it. He'll play it around the boards into the Columbus zone. Kotkaniemi goes into the corner. He'll let it go around for Dzingel. Now it's Natchez. Natchez circling. He'll turn, and his high drive is caught and hung on, and Graves gets the glove to that. Face-off coming up in the Columbus zone.
Another impression of Brent Burns. I watch him in warm-ups. I watched him at practice at the beautiful practice facility yesterday. He is so engaging with the young kids. I mean, it's so genuine. Boy, is he ever going to be a fan favorite? I mean, throw aside the fact his 3 goals so far, but he is an unbelievably disciplined pro. But in my impressions, a grown-up, mature kid. The kids are going to love him. You can see the way he interacts with them.
Canes keeping the puck in the Columbus zone. Pesce's drive from the point goes off of a leg. McEachern keeps it in. Try to get an assist from Reese. Ponomarov will track it down. Reese gets to it. Keeps it just outside. Now it's tipped over the Columbus blue line, and Carolina's got to retreat. Blue Jackets got to stick to it, and we'll roll it in the Canes zone. Shea smartly knows Columbus is making a change. He sends it all the way around, though, but too far. No icing, though. Carolina, a good skate race one there. Blue Jackets, though, easy exit out of their end. An opportunity for Owen Sillinger to throw this puck deeper into the Canes' end. Carolina, though, will skate it out to safety, but just as far as center ice. This puck will be picked up by Jake Christensen, hammered off the boards and behind Ronta's net. Canes, though, get to it and pop this one high into the air. Knocked down at center ice with a glove. Stastny plays it back for Bear. Bear throws it into the Columbus zone, and Boquist gets a stick to it, and Bear's going to win the race back to the dots, icing against Columbus with 10:29 left in the second.
I think the only downside to what has been a stellar preseason for Carolina is their two NHL goaltenders just haven't gotten a ton of work. Now, Ranta did. He got plenty of work in 40 minutes in Florida.
Yeah.
Anderson in his 2 home starts, and the first half of this game, Anti's just seen 8 shots. That's how consistent of a preseason the Hurricanes have had. That's the only downside.
Now the Canes forcing a turnover behind the Columbus net. Nason's drive. Graves gets a pad to that and knocks it away. Ranta made 20 saves on 21 shots Thursday in Florida, but as you mentioned, not a lot of work for Freddie Anderson in his 2 starts, but as Anderson told us, it's the process. The shots to him don't matter. It's the getting ready for the game and that preparation.
Yeah, I don't worry about it, but it's just how good the guys have been in front of both of them.
Now Reese tries to pull one through the legs of Christensen, but the Columbus defenseman deflects it away, and the Blue Jackets will knife this one out to center ice, but that'll go over the glass into the crowd. 9:44 left in the second period. The Hurricanes have a 3-goal advantage. It's 4-1 Carolina. You're listening to preseason Hurricanes hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear, with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Hey, Ed Vance for Advance Auto Parts here. Welcome to Ed Talk Radio, Episode 1. Who the heck is Ed Vance? Well, Ed Vance is a guy, me, who loves Advance Auto Parts. Not just because of the Advance thing. Ed Vance is a car lover. Ed Vance is a guy who loves die-hard batteries, oil bundles, and air fresheners. Ed Vance is not sure why he refers to himself in third person. Thanks for listening to my Ed Talk.
This is how we advance.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
9:44 left here in the second period. Hurricanes 2 power play goals have a 4-1 advantage over the Blue Jackets. Alongside Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here, John Brockwell, our technical engineer. And Trip, as we are past the halfway point of game number 4 of the preseason, as mentioned, 3 of the 4 have been carbon copy games for the Canes as far as giving absolutely nothing to the opposition. Outshooting Columbus 27-8 right now with 9:44 left in the second period.
It's been just an outstanding preseason to watch. Plain and simple.
Now the Canes win the draw. Working this one in on Graves' Martinook, but that'll be deflected away, and Columbus scurrying down the ice. Long stretch pass out of the reach of Justin Danforth, kept in at the blue line by Blankenberg, and that shot from the point, and a little bit of action for Antti Ranta. He'll gobble that one up. Just the second shot in the period for Columbus as Gudbranson put one through with traffic in front.
Yeah, the 2 guys that were involved in the altercation, Mattheos was out on Gudbranson. Mattheos wasn't able, as the winger, to front that puck. Ranta fought through traffic on top of his crease and had some good absorption to hold on.
Oh, we got a minute to talk about it, Trip. When you are in the nets and you're not seeing a lot of action, I know you've said before, it's the mental game. How do you keep your... As Dzingel busts in and sends it across, and the Canes score! Ryan Dzingel creates the opportunity, and Marty Necas finishes it. And 5-1, Carolina in the lead with 9:06 left in the second.
What an individual effort from Ryan Dzingel. Using his God-given speed, the former Ohio State Buckeye gets the puck first, strips Gabranson of any opportunity to contest for the puck, draws the other defenseman, Blankenberg, and then has the awareness to slide it over to Marty Natchez, going hard to the post, and Natchez scores. Natchez, a multiple-point game. Well, that was Ryan Dzingle's speed. That was a big component in his best hockey in his career in Ottawa. Getting that puck first, and then the ability to recognize where Natchez was and just feed a puck that Marty could skate into and finish.
Finish he did for Natchez. It's his second goal of this preseason. Keane's right back to work. Natchez gets it behind the net. Pesce jumps in from his defensive position. Back to Natchez. Now laid back to the point. Shea's drive doesn't get through. That hits a leg. And the Blue Jackets are away. Chance for Chinakhov. He can't get to the puck. Pesce all the way back. Good hustle from the Canes defenseman. And Carolina in control of the biscuit. 8:15 left in the second period. Natchez with it. Top of the circle. Lays it up for Shea to score! Low to the ice. And it beats Graves to the stick side. And Carolina is scoring in bunches. Make it 6-1 Carolina.
You have a lot of speed on the wings on this Kotkaniemi line with Natchez and with Dzingel. You had both Kotkaniemi and a partial change Martinook driving the net. That creates an opportunity for the trailer Brady Shea to jump. And I believe that is Shea's 5th shot of the game. And he scores. And I beckon back to the come-from-behind win January 1st, New Year's Day in Columbus, where Brady Shea was a huge part of the comeback and went on a nice offensive run.
Well, for Brady Shea, you are correct. His 5th shot of this contest. He had 6 shots in his other preseason game this year against Tampa Bay, the opening game of the preseason for the Canes last week. Now the Canes just pouring it on as Jarvis gets to a loose puck in the Columbus zone. That'll be sticked away from him. But Burns jumps up and makes sure that there's no chance for Columbus to advance into their zone. Good work by Burns defensively. Now Columbus just throws us in deep, and now we got a couple of players entangled in front of the Columbus bench. The linesmen are involved, and finally we'll get a whistle behind the play as Paul Stastny is tied up with Josh Dunn with 7:17 left in the second. I understand that a young guy wants to make his name, but I don't know if you're going to want to be getting involved with Paul Stastny here.
Yeah, and Stastny wanted no part of it, and boy, and Gabranson came in too. You understand it from both sides, but Paul Stastny wants to get through this game cleanly, and boy, if we see coincidentals here, which we might, I think it's a stroke of good fortune for Columbus. But at this stage of the game, with all the good things that have happened, with still virtually half of regulation to play, you just want to see all the guys get through this thing in good, clean health.
And not really seeing what Stastny did to get a matching penalty there, but there's the official call right now, and it's 4-on-4 as far as the play in game time right now for Carolina and Columbus. So we'll see what Carolina can do with a little more open ice. Same thing for Columbus as Gabranson. He's been a physical presence tonight. Gets to the puck, now he'll tip it back in the Cane zone. But Dzingel will scoop it up. He'll leave it there as Bear tries to play that away from Danforth. And the puck will come forward. Now Mendel gets clipped up front. And Griffin Mendel has drawn a high sticking penalty, and Ronta makes his way to the bench for the extra attacker. So we only had about 40 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey, in Carolina has a chance to either score with the extra attacker or move on to the power play. As Natchez takes it into the Columbus zone, Dzingel got to it, and a whistle. Iffy whistle on that one, but the Canes will get a chance to go back to work on the power play, where they've deposited 2 tonight in the goal.
Yeah, Justin Danforth headed to the box. Danforth, who's had a good preseason.
Columbus number 17, minor penalty, high sticking.
Mendel draws the high stick. Now Carolina will get an opportunity to work on a 4-on-3. With all these power play goals, I don't know that they've had a 4-on-3. It's certainly less, maybe one. This might be their first one. So again, you get these situations.
Canes on the power play have been dynamite this preseason, and it's carrying over to tonight as now Bear is quarterbacking this 4-on-3 with Ponomarev. Ponomarev on the wing. He'll go across the ice. Exchange that with Shea. Now an opportunity for Ponomarev, and that'll go wide, but Shea tracks down the rebound. Nason is posting out in front of Graves. Shea's drive goes off, and Nason just wide. Good read of the play by Ponomarev to throw it in the corner. Bear with the keep-in. He'll get it to Nason. Carolina on the power play. 4-on-3 for the next 25 seconds. Now Shea gets it across. Shot right on. Rebound. Nason will get to it. Graves makes 2 saves. Now across for Ponomarev. He'll find Bear in the slot. Bear's shot doesn't get through. Good block. Out in front for Columbus. Carolina right back to the loose puck, and Ponomarev in. Kane settling it down. Burns has it. Burns takes a look, surveys the scene, gets it to Nason. Back to Burns. The matching Miners are gone. 5-on-3. Quick snapshot put on by Kotkaniemi, but the save will be made by Graves, and he'll hang on there, stopping things with 50 seconds left on the power play.
Well, I just love the tools in the current toolkit for Ponomarev. Full year in the American Hockey League. The maturing nature of tools of what he can become. He had a couple of good looks there. Good release. Knows when to shoot the puck. Knows when the better play is to pass the puck.
Canes now working on a traditional 5-on-4, but not exactly a power play unit, as Slavin and Burns are out together with Reese and Martinook up front for Carolina. Now Slavin carries it behind the net. A little help from Stasny. Now finds its way back to Slavin, centering it there. Opportunity works its way to Stasny, up top for Burns. Back for Slavin. Thinks about the shot. Little one-timer out front, and Reese puts it right on Graves with a save. 5 seconds left on the power play for Carolina. Slavin works it around the rink. Up top for Burns. Penalties expired. And out of the box was Danforth, but the Canes able to cut that one off, so no opportunity. Springing the man who was in the penalty box for Columbus.
Burns had a good recognition of when Danforth was coming out of the box and tracked back into the neutral zone because of it.
Now step on. Settle down the puck. Back up top. Drive doesn't get through into good Branson. Rebound chance for Stepan's right there. Graves with the save. Loose puck out in front. And finally Graves will catch that. And Christensen and Martinook having a couple of shoves after the whistle. 3:48 left in the second period. All Carolina in this one. 6-1. Hurricanes lead the Blue Jackets on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one great team, UNC Health is keeping you well by bringing renewed focus, approach, and dedicated services close to you. Exceptional care is what you and your family deserve. Together, let's put points on the board for life well played. Team up with UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Mike Maniscalco here, and I'm hanging out with my good friend Paul Auclair, the owner of Deep River Brewing Company and proud sponsor of your Carolina Hurricanes. Paul, tell us a little bit about Deep River Brewing Company.
Deep River Brewing Company is located at 700 West Main Street in historic downtown Clayton, North Carolina. Our brewery and tap room are open Wednesday through Sunday. We have 12 beers on tap and food trucks on site daily.
And you can find Deep River beer at local bottle shops, restaurants, and grocery stores. If you don't find Deep River at your local watering hole, make sure to ask for it by name. And remember, drink local.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the kale crunch salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey, Caniacs hockey season is here. That means tailgating season at PNC Arena. Get everything you need for your Caniac tailgates at your local Harris Teeter. Longtime partner of the Carolina Hurricane. Shop in-store, online, or on the go with the Harris Teeter app. Trip Tracy, the Hurricanes offense has been on the go this game. 6 goals already with 3:48 left in the second period. 6-1 lead over Columbus.
A 6-1 lead. I wonder, you'll see the Ponomarev line on the ice here coming out of the commercial break. The regulars that are dressed up front, and even your top 4 defensemen and Burns and Slavin and Pesce and Shea, I wonder if their ice time will be reduced based on where this game is at.
That'll be something to keep our eye on. Another penalty coming up to Columbus is the Canes keeping the puck in the zone. Working along the boards is Ponomarev up top for Bear. Bear's drive, though, goes off of a body out front. Touched up by the Blue Jackets, and another power play chance for Carolina with 3:27 left here in the second period.
It's going to be Columbus native Carson Meyer with the roughing penalty, where the Hurricanes just continue to pour it on.
All right, so the question for you, the way that this game is seemingly going, do you want to see everybody keep their cool if Columbus is going to play feisty, or go the other way with this?
Well, the guys that are pestilent, trying to make an impression, whether it be Jamison Reese, who's on the ice, it's a power play, or Celio Mateos, players that that will be in Chicago but are trying to make a lasting impression. Absolutely, go for it. But the guys that'll be part of the opening night roster, just make sure that you're aware of where the game is at, which I'm sure they are, and that's why I speculated, who knows, that you might see the ice time go a little differently than it would have if it was a 2-1 game.
Now Ponomarev with a pass for Dzingel right in, and a big save by Graves. Oh, great recognition by Ponomarev to find Dzingel, who cut in, and Graves keeps it a 5-goal game, and that was not an easy chance for the netminder.
Dzingel, no question, his best period of the preseason. And Ponomarev set up the first goal of the Prospects tournament against Florida, and he immediately made a great first impression. He's built on it.
Now an opportunity for Columbus. Owen Cylinder try to get a short-handed chance. 45 seconds left in the power play for Carolina.
99 close, 99
Canes
dot.
will take this puck back into the Columbus zone. Jarvis
button.
with speed sends it across the ice. Going to get it back. A little help for Shea with a keeping at the point. He'll fence at it, and it'll be knocked forward. Good play by Josh Dunn. There's 25 seconds left in the power play. Jarvis with it. He drops it back. Pesce's blast right on. And Graves makes the save. Back to Pesce at the point. Kotkaniemi works it for Shea. He lets it go back to Pesce. Settle down for Jarvis. Jarvis breaks his stick on the pass. Canes keep it in. Shea to Pesce. Back to Shea. Cross ice for Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi spins away, loses the handle on it.
80 and
Sillinger has it,
screen
and he'll just knock
See
this
more
back into the Canes zone.
button.
And out of the box comes Meyer, and the Canes come up empty on that man advantage, but a couple of grade A chances.
Yeah, too bad for Seth Jarvis. That stick broke really at the halfway point of the shaft. Equipment manager Bob Gorman in mid-season form, seamlessly getting him a new stick.
1 minute. Bob Gorman is always in season.
He hates
no
the
matter pre or
attention.
whatever. I know.
Going all the way back to the Hartford Whaler days. I mean, during the course of a regular season game, player doesn't have to break stride, has to leave the play for a millisecond. I mean, that's an asset.
Now we've got 40 seconds left in the period. Columbus works the puck behind the net of Ronton. A dangerous centering pass, but that's knocked away. Excellent play by McEachard, who sends that to some safety and all the way into the Columbus zone. And the Blue Jackets gain possession. 22 seconds left here in the second period. Nason comes up with a turnover at center ice. He'll pitch this deep into the Columbus zone. Ponomarev goes after it. Good forecheck by Ponomarev. Gets some help from Reese. Tries to work it back to the point for Burns, but that pass intercepted by Marchenko. 3 seconds left in the period. Slavin has it, and he'll just settle in behind his net and let the second period come to a close. Chip, you got some thoughts before we hit the break on this one?
What a second period it was.
Well said, my friend. Carolina out shooting Columbus 38-12 and 6-1 on the scoreboard after 40 minutes of play. Adam Gold will have the intermission report for us here when we come back on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Inside the Indiana State Museum's brand new Gallery 1, the meaning of our collection changes with each new story we tell. And you're invited to play a part. Here, you'll make music, see art in a whole new light, even interact with historical objects brought to life before your very own eyes. How will you experience our revolutionary new Gallery 1? Find out at indianamuseum.org.
Your health matters at every age, which is why it's important to schedule your annual GYN wellness visit. Our team delivers personalized care with the right screenings at the right time. It's the best way to address any concerns as early as possible, and that's always a comforting thought. Visit ecommunity.com/women's wellness to schedule your exam today. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
Seal off drafts, dust, moisture, and more with MD Weather Stripping from Menards. We have the Midwest's largest selection of in-stock weather stripping with over 130 products available to take home and start saving on energy costs today. Save time, money, and energy costs with 11% off all MD Weather Stripping right now at Menards. Good through October 9th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
6-1 Hurricanes lead the Blue Jackets here at PNC Arena. I am Adam Gold, and this is the PNC Bank Intermission Report brought to you by PNC Bank, the official bank of the Carolina Hurricanes. A little bit of a dust-up about a third of the way through the second period. Stelio Matheos checked Columbus's Carson Meyer from behind. He was then jumped by Eric Goodbranson. Then there was some pairing off of other players. It was mostly aggressive hugging, which shows some nice camaraderie in the brotherhood. We then went to review for whatever reason, and Goodbranson got an extra 2 for being mean, I guess. I don't know. Picking on a guy who's going to the minor leagues. Hurricanes ended up with a power play out of that, a little more than 20 seconds into the extra man. Brent Burns scalds one through the new goalie, Jet Graves. He wasn't even announced. Graves just came off the bench, and Burns absolutely threw a bullet at him. Third goal in 2 games for the Beard. 4-1 Canes at the time. They're 2 for 2. They were 2 for 2 at that point on the power play. 7th power play goal in the September friendly series. 4.5 minutes later, Ryan Dzingel was doing a little things. Hard work on a puck retrieval. He did. Gave the puck to Natchez for a 5-1 score. 57 seconds later, Brady Shea took a little dish from Natchez in the slot for a third goal in 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Honestly, we have to be honest about what Columbus has tonight. Columbus is not a playoff team by any stretch, and they didn't bring most of their good players. So the depth that Columbus doesn't have is showing up tonight, because even though Carolina's got most of their big boys, at least up front, out, Carolina absolutely dominating the game. Will explain just how much a little bit later on. Dzingel also had another chance to score all alone on Graves with about 2.5 minutes left, but he was denied. We'll check the second period highlights next.
Hey, Ed Vance for Advance Auto Parts here. Welcome to Ed Talk Radio, Episode 1. Who the heck is Ed Vance? Well, Ed Vance is a guy, me, who loves Ed Vance Auto Parts. Not just because of the Ed Vance Advance thing. Ed Vance is a car lover. Ed Vance is a guy who loves die-hard batteries, oil bundles, and air fresheners. Ed Vance is not sure why he refers to himself in third person. Thanks for listening to my Ed Talk.
This is how we advance.
Excuse me, are you Lady Luck?
Who's asking?
Could you give me some lucky numbers for pick 3 and pick 4?
You don't need lucky numbers, kid. You just add Fireball. When you add it to pick 3 or pick 4, you get an extra drawn number for more combinations to match and win.
Wow. Do you have any other lucky tips?
Plenty, but first you gotta rub Mama's bunion.
Yikes. Make your own luck with Fireball. Must be 18 to play. See pick 3 and pick 4 Fireball prize and odds charts at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear, with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
We're at PNC Arena. I am Adam Gold with the Hurricanes on top of the Columbus Blue Jackets by a score of 6-1. The PNC Bank Intermission Report. PNC Bank, the official bank of the Carolina Hurricanes. How did we get to 6-1? Well, practice. Let's find out. Second period highlights thanks to Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum has the most reliable service coast to coast. Could save up to 60%. Visit SpectrumMobile.com today. Eric Goodbranson roughed up Stelio Matheos. He got 4. Matheos got 2 for an initial infraction. And with Goodbranson in the box, took Brent Burns about 22 seconds before he made it 4-1 from the top of the umbrella.
Canes win the draw. And Jet Graves is taking over the goaltending position, and he's going to give up his first as Brent Burns with an absolute rocket from the point on the power plays, put Carolina up 4-1.
It was scalding third of the preseason for Burns, who must like playing at PNC Arena. A couple of minutes later, it was Martin Necas doing the finishing off of Ryan Dzingle's hard work in front.
When you are in the nets and you're not seeing a lot of action, I know you've said before, it's the mental game. How do you keep it as Dzingel busts in and sends it across and the game score? Ryan Dzingel creates the opportunity and Martin Necas finishes it. And 5-1, Carolina in the lead with 9:06 left in the second.
Necas didn't even celebrate. He was just like, yep, that was easy. Brady Shea, 57 seconds later, takes a little dish from Necas in the slot and makes it 6-1.
Pesci all the way back. Good hustle from the Canes defenseman, and Carolina in control of the biscuit. 8:15 left in the second period. Necas with it. Top of the circle. Lays it off for Shea to score! Low to the ice, and it beats Graves to the stick side, and Carolina is scoring in bunches. Make it 6-1 Carolina.
3 goals in 5 minutes and 11 seconds, middle of the second period. Carolina with a 28-5 edge in scoring chances on the Blue Jackets tonight. Limited season ticket membership packages are still available. Don't miss out on your chance to get discounts and tickets, merchandise, and concessions. Visit a concourse sales table or hurricanes.com/STM for more information. We will check in with a new face and an old friend at the same time. Next.
Are you ready? At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. That's why MVP's rewards members can earn bonus points on select products from brands like DeWalt, Purdy paint applicators, and GRK screws. Then redeem your bonus points for exciting rewards like tools, grills, Lowe's gift cards, and more. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details. Now through 10/28.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Adam Gold back at PNC Arena with the Hurricanes on top of the Columbus Blue Jackets by a 6-1 count. This is the PNC Bank Intermission Report. PNC Bank, the official bank of the Carolina Hurricanes. Our second period interview, if you will, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Advance your auto. And it says something about the Hurricanes that some old friends are coming back. Derek Stepan was here a year ago. He's here on a PTO. Calvin DeHaan was here 4 years ago. He's here on a PTO and now has signed a contract. Ryan Dzingel is trying to resurrect his career, and he has decided to do it here, and I caught up with him before the game. I said this to Calvin Hahn the other day. Welcome back. It's nice to see Ryan Dzingel. How you feeling?
Feeling great. I'm excited, and second game, so knocking the rust off. It's gonna be fun playing back at home.
Why here?
I mean, that's a long story. I think I talked to Justin Williams and a few other guys here, Bill Bernstein, and I was thinking about my options, going overseas, going to Europe, doing these things. When you get older in the league and you're not playing as much as you'd like, you start thinking about a lot of different things. Where I'd fit in, trying to make a team. So he just said, "Hey, come here and see what happens. Try to make a team." So just started from square one and going after it, getting to work and trying to make a squad. So even if I have to go down for a bit and work on my game, I've been injured for the last 3 straight seasons. I've only played 20 games a year, so not many teams would want to take a chance on a guy who's always injured. I understand that. So just working on my craft and what a better place to do it than here with the trainers and the coaching staff and the people here. So I'm really close with Bill and some of the other trainers. So it's nice to build that back up.
I've talked a lot about the culture of what this place has been about, and I think a lot of it is really the head coach. So when I ask you about that, what is it about this place that draws people like you here?
Yeah, I think everybody says the same thing. It's just the way Roddy and everybody else runs the system is just trying to win the day every single day, and just based on work and based on being a good person. So it's easy to get caught up in the way you're playing or this and that, and he just stresses showing up every single day. And I think a lot of guys get caught in that. You want to get to where you want to go or where you were before, and sometimes you forget about just taking it day by day. And I think that's the biggest thing. He's been doing it his whole career, so I think he's a guy that you kind of have to follow, and everybody already knows what he's about. So I think everyone says it enough. It's already inferred. You're coming here and you're going to work, and I think that's what I needed. I needed to go back to being the 7th rounder, the guy who got cut every year, and find a way to find that hunger again. So that's just where I'm at.
You put 20 in the net back-to-back years, so you know how to do it. When you're hurt, is there a tendency, like especially if you're in a place where you need to be on the ice, is there a tendency to kind of push stuff to the side and just still try to play through it, even though it might not be the best thing for you?
Yeah, I hate going, always talking about that. That's the only issue, too. Obviously, you could play better in general in other areas, too. But, yeah, I've been hurt for, the last 3 years, playing 20, 30, 40 games each season. So it's I'm a guy that doesn't like to sit out, so I find a way to play with everything I have. So, it's easy for a lot of guys to say that, when you have the old retired guys, I was hurt too much, this and that. But it's been a long few 3-4 years with the injuries back, just the littlest stuff, broken toes, torn wrist, shoulder, elbow, everything. So it's just a lot of things adding up, and it just gets frustrating. But I was a guy I like to play through it and see what happens. So there's multiple things that go into it, but it definitely sucks.
The broken toe sounds little. The other stuff didn't sound little to me. I hope you're healthy, and I hope you do well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard when the intermission report continues after this.
Hello, I'm John.
Your new Total Wine & More in Carmel has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our expertly trained guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, curbside pickup, or shipping. Love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Carmel, Noblesville, Greenwood, and Nora. Drink responsibly. B21.
It's finally... your kid likes sticking stuff up her nose.
Mama, look what I did.
Wow. I'm almost impressed.
Luckily, Ambetter Health Insurance knows great doctors in your neighborhood. With a broad network of doctors built around the people and communities we serve, great care is always close with Ambetter. Anytime, any nose. Get ready for open enrollment today. Tap to learn more at getknowambetter.com. Ambetter from MHS is insured by Celtic Insurance Company. This is a solicitation for insurance.
Let's check the NHL scoreboard after this word. Well, Adam Gold here at 6-1. Look at the NHL scoreboard brought to you by Cardinal Apparel, proud partner and T-shirt provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. Good thing it's preseason. New Jersey leads Boston 1-0 after 2 periods. Thomas Tatar with the goal back in the first period. It's Toronto 3-0 over Montreal. They are also through 2. Zach Aston Reese with 1. William Nylander has scored twice for the Maple Leafs. Pittsburgh with a 2-0 lead in Detroit. One of the goals from Brian Rust. The Avs and the Stars are scoreless after 1. Hurricanes with a 6-1 lead. Goal scorers: Kotkaniemi, Nason, Stepan, Burns, Natchez, Shea. Really good performance by the Hurricanes, but really not an NHL lineup by the Blue Jackets. One quick postscript, if you will, on the Ryan Dzingel interview is that we did that before the game, and about, I guess, an hour before game time, Ryan sent me a text to kind of clarify why he came back, and I think it speaks to what the Hurricanes are all about. And I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to pass it on. He said, what better place? Any place he would go to, he would have to fight for a job. And what better place to be than a place with such high character as the Hurricanes? He looks up to Justin Williams and Bill Berniston, the strength and conditioning coach, and, of course, the head coach, Rod Brindamore. And that is what we keep talking about with this organization, the culture that the head coach has really laid the foundation for going forward. Hurricanes 6, Blue Jackets 1. Third period straight ahead. Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy will be back on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one great team, UNC Health is keeping you well by bringing renewed focus, approach, and dedicated services close to you. Exceptional care is what you and your family deserve. Together, let's put points on the board for life well played. Team up with UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Spectrum Paint. We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality, with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service, with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help you with all your painting projects. Spectrum Paint, official paint store of the Carolina Hurricanes. Visit SpectrumPaint.com for all 5 Triangle locations.
As the official security partner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Vector Security is invested in the success of everyone in the Triangle. If you run a business here, they understand your primary focus is serving your customers, and a big part of that is making sure your customers, your employees, and your inventory are all safe and secure. Vector Security can help. Schedule a free business security health check today, and one of their local security experts will help assess your needs. Visit them online at vectorsecurity.com/Canes to learn more.
Getting ready to start the third period. Carolina 6-1 in the lead over the Blue Jackets, but Tripp just got news from the Canes locker room that Brett Pesce will not return for the third period with a lower body situation. So the Canes will be down a defenseman for the final 20 minutes here. With a 6-1 lead, though, as you were positing the question as we went to break, how much would we see of that final pair? Nothing of Brett Pesce. We'll find out more in the postgame what's going on with the Canes defenseman.
Yeah, I hope and would cautiously expect that that's just precautionary for Brett, who has looked every bit himself in his 2 preseason games. Just looking at the fact that his partner, Brady Shea, has a goal but has 6 shots, most in the game through 40 minutes. Stefan Nason, who has a goal himself, has 5 shots.
Icing against Columbus as the third period is 15 seconds old, so face-off will be all the way back in the Columbus end to the right of young netminder Jet Graves.
I would expect we'll see quite a bit of this line in the third period. Ponomarov with Reese and Matheos.
And again, everybody contributing on the Canes stat sheet tonight as the puck is rolled to the right of the Columbus netminder and played free and forward by Bemstrom and into the Cane zone, but icing again against Columbus. So 28 seconds into the period, 2 icing against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
An opportunity to work on a offensive zone face-off play. So Burns and Slavin come on the ice and step on his power side.
Canes win the draw. Back to Burns. He spins it behind the net for Nason. Now worked back up for Burns. Across for Slavin. Slavin wrists one for Nason. Played back across for Stepan. And the slide, he scores! Stepan, second of the night, third of the preseason, and 7th goal of the game for the Hurricanes. It's 7-1 Carolina.
I wouldn't be surprised after the game if Derek Stepan says, I had no idea that pass was coming to me. But because he kept his stick on the ice, he leaned back, was able to corral it, used the defenseman as a screen. What a look from Brett Burns. Stepan's look afterwards over at Brett Burns admiring the pass was like, how did you possibly see me?
Now an opportunity for Columbus the other way as Foodie's backhand is handled by Ronta. Antti Ranta's come out and he's going to try to go the whole way here. He played 2 periods in his appearance in Florida. He made the 20 saves there so far tonight. He's faced 13 shots and he's made 12 saves. And again, for Stepan, he's trying to make the case trip to, he's on the PTO, stay here with the Carolina Hurricanes and be part of the group.
He's making a Perry Mason-like case.
Yes, he is.
What a look. That's what I keep saying. When Brett Burns is on the ice, you cannot go to sleep even for a second. If you're available, you're the best option, he's going to find a way to get you the puck.
The other thing that you talked about on the goal for Stepan, as a veteran, he didn't panic that he didn't get it clean right away. He settled it down, he kept his stick down, and he threw a pill behind the netminder for Columbus. And this has been, if you're Carolina, drawn up almost perfectly what you want to see here tonight. Pretty much the entire preseason from this team right now, Trip.
Yeah, and I think the thing seems like eons ago, but tonight, that leaky first Columbus goal, the way the Hurricanes immediately pushed back and obviously just took over the hockey game.
Now the puck bouncing around center ice. Blankenberg gets to it, plays it off the backboards. Ronta gets a stick to it, throws it around, and now a quick snapshot thrown into the chest of Ronta, and he'll hang on. Face-off coming up to the right of the Canes netminder as that chance was put on by Brendan Gaunce. And again, if you're Ronta, I'm sure you want to see a little bit more rubber here, right? In the third period, nothing so much high danger, but just getting a feel for the puck.
Yeah, and he's in his 40 minutes in Florida. He saw everything that you would want to see.
Now the Canes having trouble clearing it out, kept in at the point, worked all the way back, and a chance for Columbus pushing their way through, and Ronta makes the save. Antti Ronta had to shut down Bemstrom and company, who had worked their way into the blue paint as Carolina didn't get the clear.
He actually brought his blocker arm through traffic into the body and made the initial save. It looked like he was going to be able to hold on, but it was loose in front of him, and Sillinger and company had a good opportunity. Eventually he was able to go down and squeeze it low.
Now face off to the left of the Canes goalie, and it's won by Carolina. Jarvis, he and Bean go after it in the Columbus end, and Jarvis throws Bean down to the ice. Now Martinook with it. He tries to rotate it back to the point, but that's intercepted by Chinakhov. Carolina will take the puck away from him. Martinook down the right wing side. Centering attempt for Jarvis. His pass for Stasny. Bounces off of a foot, finds Martinook. That's kept in by Bear. Bear's drive. Wide of the net. Settled down by Jarvis. Nice stop and start by Jarvis. He'll carry it beneath the goal line, behind the net of Columbus. Back up top for Bear. Bear wrists one. Graves makes the save. Rebound. Gets to Bean. Bean can't clear. Now it'll be kept in for Carolina. Worked back to the point for Bear. Bear throws one on, and Now an opportunity out in front for Carolina is Mendel. Put one there, and Graves makes a save, and Columbus just shoos that one to safety.
Griffin Mendel has had a nice first impression. Prospects tournament and now this training camp coming out of Quinnipiac. Nothing fancy, but he can jump up into the play. He's got an edge to him. Rod very familiar with him because the Quinnipiac ties, and Skylar Brindamore just played his first couple of exhibition games against the University of Toronto and Providence, and they'll open Mendel's former team in Boston College later this week.
Mendel's got good size too, 6'6", 220. As Carolina trying to keep the puck in the Columbus zone, but it'll work its way to Liam Foudy. And Foudy, as Columbus needs to make a change, gets the puck in the Kane zone. Ronta will play it free. And up for Jamison Reese, just out of Reese's reach. Gabranson will get to it. Carolina, though, takes it over in the neutral zone. Now laid off for Natchez. His pass back for Shea, and that's absorbed by Graves. And Shea, he'll trip. One of the things you mentioned, the shots that he's had.
He's going to challenge Svechnikov. 6 days ago, Andre outstanding in his 2 preseason games, but Andre had 9 shots, I believe, through 2 periods. That's Shea's 7th shot of the night. These are good things.
Yep.
Because Brady Shea has all the capability to contribute offensively. We saw that in the second half of last year.
As play resumes, Carolina can't keep it in. Coming away with it into the Hurricane zone is Robinson, but his drive is deflected out of play, stopping the clock. 14:34 left in the third. 7-1 lead, Carolina over Columbus.
Mendel's, he just finished the shift with just 5 defensemen back on the ice, matches the speed that you have to do, and then closes it, stick on puck, and prevents that shot from hitting the target.
Now Victor Rask wins the draw for the Blue Jackets. He's to the right of Ronta. Puck loose in the corner. Canes will clear. Played forward. That was Mendel jumping up from his defensive position to get it into the Columbus zone. Now Nason gives chase, but the Blue Jackets are able to clear and get as far as center ice. Now Slavin will track it down in his own end. The puck will bounce back to him off of the stick of Marchenko. Now a loose play out in front, and Ronta has to get the right pad to it. As Columbus's Marchenko got loose out in front, the pass deflected. And a good play there made by Ronta, the netminder. He's now got 16 saves here on the evening. Now Slavin, he stands up Dunn at the Canes blue line. Puck work to Burns. Burns looks for Jarvis on a cross-ice pass. It's knocked down by Dunn and back into the Canes zone. Burns plays it forward. Off the boards, it's going to roll all the way in on Graves, who's got to play it. Now turnover almost turned over in the Columbus zone, and the Blue Jackets turn this one forward. Spinning with it is Sillinger. And he'll leave that off, and a cross-ice pass delivered by Gauntz, misses everybody. Kept into the point by Christensen. He rolls it down low. Gauntz, 1 chance, 2 chances. Slavin knocked it away the first time, and then Gauntz's second drive goes high and out of the Cane zone. Carolina makes a change. The Blue Jackets back in. Gauntz with it. He'll center one, and that'll be deflected out of play. Off of the stick of Ronta. 12:58 left in the third period. Carolina with a 7-1 lead over the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're listening to Hurricanes preseason hockey on the Canes Radio Network.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
Excuse me, are you Lady Luck?
Who's asking?
Could you give me some lucky numbers for pick 3 and pick 4?
You don't need lucky numbers, kid. You just add Fireball. When you add it to pick 3 or pick 4, you get an extra drawn number for more combinations to match and win.
Wow. Do you have any other lucky tips?
Plenty, but first you gotta rub Mama's bunion.
Yikes. Make your own luck with Fireball. Must be 18 to play. See Pick 3 and Pick 4 Fireball prize and odds charts at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Haha, saved $1 a gallon.
Uh-oh, looks like the refs are going to review this one.
Wait, what?
Like the rest of us, they're wondering how Bill did that.
I just used my fuel points. I get them when I shop at Harris Teeter with my Vic card. I earn a point for every dollar I spend. It's pretty easy.
After further review, 1,000 Harris Teeter fuel points does indeed equal $1 off per gallon. The ruling on the field stands.
These Harris Teeter fans love Bill.
Is this going to happen every time I fill up?
Go to harristeeter.com and learn how you can fill like Bill.
Our next broadcast will be tomorrow night. Trip is going to be game number 5 of the preseason in Buffalo. We head to Western New York, 7 o'clock face-off. You can join us here on all of these fine Carolina Hurricanes radio affiliates.
A lot of hope in Buffalo right now. Some very intriguing recent draft picks. A team that played hard under Don Granato last year.
For the face-off, a shot put on by Chinakhov. Ranta makes the save. Former Carolina Hurricane Kevin Adams doing a fine job as the general manager of the Buffalo Sabres. He's got a process that he is sticking with, and as you mentioned, there's some hope there, but you can see a lot of similarities with the path they're on that Adams has put the Sabres on from what the Hurricanes have done the last 5 seasons. Now a chance out in front. Ranta with the save. Oh, mercy. Antti Ranta. Absolutely robbing Owen Sillinger, who got sprung free.
Really good patient save where Ranta got out, matched the speed, and then his quickness did the rest. And if a player's coming in with the considerable speed that Sillinger did, you're a dead duck if you don't get out, get a push so you can match that speed moving backward, and you want to make Sillinger make the first move. Really good save. His best save of the night.
Nason tries to clear, kept in at the Canes blue line. Behind the net where Slavin's waiting for it. He's got to play it away from Bemstrom, and he does. Carolina out to center ice. Blue Jackets get a stick back to it, forcing Slavin to his backhand. Cleared forward. Looking for McEachern. Pass too far for him. Goodbranson deflects the puck in on Ranta off of Bemstrom, and Ranta just keeping the puck and the clock moving. Now a chance for Brady Shea. Stopping and starting. Good play by Shea in his own zone to take some time off up for McEachern. We'll dig that one into the Columbus zone for a moment. Foudy got his stick to it. Now across for Boquist. Former first-round pick, 8th overall of the Chicago Blackhawks. He was part of the Seth Jones deal. He loses the puck. Mendel takes a big hit at center ice, but gets the puck in deep into the Columbus zone, where Ponomarev will pick up the puck. He goes across ice for Mendel. His drive wide of the net. Bear with it, keeping at the point. Down low for Dzingel, just out of the Canes winger's reach. And Boquist helps usher this one away. Now Dzingel reaching back for it. Victor Rask. He'll deposit it behind Ranta's net. Shea got a stick to it, and the Canes will clear. Ponomarev was at the end of his shift. So was the Carolina Hurricanes as they'll make a change. And this one rolls all the way back, and Bjorkvik home with it for the Columbus Blue Jackets. 10:45 left here in the third period. 7-1 Canes lead.
Kotkaniemi got the Hurricanes goal scoring started on the power play to tie the game at 1. That was a heck of a look before he got that puck to find the defense.
Now Martinook up to Jarvis. Jarvis tries to go back to Martinook and just out of his reach. Martinook controls it for Shea. Worked across for Burns. Now Jarvis with it on his stick. Tries to get it down low for Martinook. Stasny coming over to help is Cole Sillinger. Sticks his nose in there. Now Stasny has it. Back of the net behind Graves. This puck will be reversed all the way around, but Martinook will hold on to it. Now Stasny spinning shot. That rolls through, and Graves will catch that and hang on a little bit less than halfway through the third period. 10 minutes, 2 seconds left to go in the final frame. 7-1 Canes lead. Out shooting Columbus 44-20.
And as I mentioned earlier, I think it'll be a young lineup tomorrow in Buffalo, and then the Hurricanes will have a day off Wednesday. And I would suspect down to one group when they practice on Thursday, that knowing the way that Rod is and in his meetings with President and General Manager Don Waddell and Don's managerial staff, that the Hurricanes will be close to where they want to be against these Blue Jackets next Wednesday night.
October 12th, season opener, home opener for the Hurricanes against the Blue Jackets. I hesitate in saying these Blue Jackets because they're going to have a much different look when they come in this building for opening night.
It's the only game, it never ceases to amaze me. It's one of 82, but opening night, especially when you open at home, especially when then you're going on a long road trip beginning in San Jose. It's just one of 82, but it feels like a big game. It feels almost, in a lot of ways, when you open at home, it feels, Mike, like a NFL Sunday game in terms of importance. But I do think that it's going to be a formidable, improved opponent, different-looking Columbus team. But you really want it before you go on the road.
Canes keep the puck in Slavin's drive. Hits a leg out front, goes to Burns. His cross-ice pass finds McEachern. Right of Graves, and this will find Bemstrom for the Blue Jackets. He has it taken away from him. Good defensive play. Coming back with Stepan. Puck in front of the Canes bench, worked around. I think the other part of it too, Tripp, for years, that home opener for Carolina is so big because you usually haven't followed up with that long road trip. So you want to get that first win in front of the home crowd out of the way. And I'm with you. The first game of the year for this team in this building always feels bigger. And as you say, one of 82, but feels like it has a lot of importance. And it's going to be a big game for both teams. There's some high expectations for the Blue Jackets with what they've done this offseason, and we certainly know where the Canes' expectations are for this year.
Yeah, there's some pressure when you're at home. The Hurricanes went 9-0 last year in October, but with that road trip, it makes it more important to have a good effort.
7 minutes, 55 seconds to go here in the third period. Canes, a little bit of a sticky situation in their own zone. We'll just fire this down. It was deflected into the Columbus zone, no icing. So a chance for Blankenberg to throw this back into Carolina territory.
The Blue Jackets, they don't have a ton of travel in the first couple months, but they'll go to Tempera, Finland in November for a couple of games, so that obviously grabs your attention. As the Hurricanes head west after playing the Jackets, spent a lot of the trip in Western Canada after beginning in San Jose and Seattle. Columbus's big, long Western trips will be in the second half of the season, but that big trip to Finland in November.
And now Columbus going to force a turnover. Puck goes back to the point, and the drive by Boquist is caught, and Ronta will hang on. 7:07 left in the third period. 7 for the Canes, 1 for the Blue Jackets here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Spectrum Paint. We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality, with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service, with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help you with all your painting projects. Spectrum Paint, official paint store of the Carolina Hurricanes. Visit SpectrumPaint.com for all 5 Triangle locations.
As the official security partner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Vector Security is invested in the success of everyone in the Triangle. If you run a business here, they understand your primary focus is serving your customers, and a big part of that is making sure your customers, your employees, and your inventory are all safe and secure. Vector Security can help. Schedule a free business security health check today, and one of their local security experts will help assess your needs. Visit them online at vectorsecurity.com/Canes to learn more.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear, with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Limited season ticket membership packages are still available for the Hurricanes. Don't miss out on your chance to get discounts on tickets, merchandise, and concessions. Visit a concourse sales table at PNC Arena or go to hurricanes.com/STM for more information. John Brockwell's our technical engineer. Trip Tracy and Mike Maniscalco here on the call. And Trip, get a look at the early schedule for Carolina. It starts with the home opener on October 12th, which you'll hear here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. 7 o'clock face-off against Columbus, and then a 5-game road swing that takes us out west. And again, big start for the Canes, especially against those Western Conference teams early as we look at the October schedule. And then Canes come home to play the Islanders and then go right back on the road against Philadelphia.
When I look at that Western trip, you have new faces. Game 2, Brett Burns going back to San Jose. Some spacing in that road trip where you have days between games. A couple days in Seattle. You have a couple of days in Edmonton. I believe there's a day between games or maybe two in Calgary. So you have the spacing, but Burns, an emotional game in Game 2. I look at it as an opportunity for these new faces to really gel together. But let's not kid ourselves. This preseason, they've already gelled together beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's important to get in front of the National Hockey League season. It is. I mean, the Hurricanes, as I said before we went to commercial, went 9-0 in October last year. They almost clinched their playoff ticket right then. It's such a tough league. But especially San Jose Game 2, as popular of a teammate as Brett Burns already is, these new faces, I think it provides an excellent opportunity for this group really to get even that much more comfortable with one another with all the time that they're going to spend together.
As Carolina works the puck into the Columbus zone. Mackenzie McEachern with the Canes up 7-1. The line of Stepan, McEachern, and Nason getting some time here. A little bit more in this third period. And I'm with you about that second game. You know it's going to be emotional for Brent Burns, but almost at the same stride Trip. I think it does the Canes a big favor because it gets that emotional game out of the way for Brent Burns. Doesn't have to be asked about it leading up to it all season long. Now Sillinger rips one right on, but the save made by Ronta. We'll head to break. We'll finish this one up, the final 5.5 coming up here on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
As the official security partner of the Carolina Hurricanes, Vector Security is invested in the success of everyone in the Triangle. If you run a business here, they understand your primary focus is serving your customers. And a big part of that is making sure your customers, your employees, and your inventory are all safe and secure. Vector Security can help. Schedule a free business security health check today, and one of their local security experts will help assess your needs. Visit them online at vectorsecurity.com/Canes to learn more.
Together, that's how we stay in the game, ready to play. As one great team, UNC Health is keeping you well by bringing renewed focus, approach, and dedicated services close to you. Exceptional care is what you and your family deserve. Together, let's put points on the board for life well played. Team up with UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the Kale Crunch Salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
5:30 left here in the third period. Alongside Trip Tracy, I'm Mike Maniscalco. Derek Stepan with 2 goals tonight for the Hurricanes. Part of the 7 that they have put past the Columbus netminders here. Out shooting Columbus 43-23. And Trip, I think we can start looking a little bit ahead as just one more scheduled preseason game left for the Carolina Hurricanes, which is tomorrow night in Buffalo. Face off to the left of Ronta. It's won by Columbus. Opportunity for Blankenberg to carry it in, but then his pass misses everybody and all the way back in the Columbus zone. October is one of those months where I don't know if you make the playoffs in October, but you certainly can miss them if you
Look
get
at
off
what
to a
happened to the
misstep.
Islanders last year, who they're part of that October slate, waiting for the new building to be finished, and they never recovered.
No.
And so I love everything that love everything in training camp, and you have that game for Burns in San Jose, but then you're going to have no problem getting the attention of the group when you're seeing McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, Draisaitl, and then a Calgary team that really creatively changed their makeup on a Saturday night with Huberdeau, Nazem Kadri. So they're going to be some very formidable opponents. I just, it's a much more difficult schedule than October was last year. But I think this team is certainly, it's a great opportunity for all the new faces to truly gel together and become a really cohesive group.
Now Rask comes up with a turnover in the Kane zone. His shot, though, deflected by Burns into the corner and then put into safety by Carolina at center ice from Jacob Slavin. Columbus to a loose puck, rolls right back in, and Slavin and Burns play that around the horn. Martinook takes a heavy shove to clear the zone. He'll head to the bench. Rask has to pick it up in his own zone. He does. Stasny bothers him. And Columbus just throws this out to center ice where Burns is waiting for it, across for Slavin. Now it's left for Stasny. The fish one in for Jarvis, who puts one across the goal line, but it stays out as Graves got a pad to it. Now Reese centers one. That's deflected high, and that'll be gloved down and taken away by Marchenko. This gets it as far as the Kane zone in Carolina. Reese takes a hit at his own blue line, but he's able to put the puck in the neutral zone. Columbus has to tag up, and they will work it across for Bjork Vikholm. Bouncing puck will be settled down by Meyer. Back for Dunn. Dunn's shot goes wide of Ronta's net. And Josh Dunn gets a blade do it again out in front. Slavin. He's there to shut down any offensive opportunity. And the puck kept in at the point by Bjorkquist home. Now a quick snapshot, and Ronta with the glove. He'll hang on. 3:03 left here in the third period. 7-1 Hurricanes lead.
Good luck with the 3 stars and all these candidates coming up in a few minutes. Derek Stepan has had a heck of a night with 2 goals. Natchez, multiple point game, has continued his preseason. Brady Shea, a goal. And last count, 7 shots. Those are just 3 guys that jump out to me.
Now Nason. The huge shove on Blankenberg to keep the puck in the Columbus zone. And again, Stefan Nason, he had the 48 goals last year in Chicago, but Columbus to a loose puck in on Ronta, and Ronta makes the splits and makes the save as Sillinger got in behind the defense.
Mendel really did a good job getting back, slashing across the ice. He can skate. I think he actually got a piece of that shot to minimize the velocity.
Now Cole Sillinger makes it right back into the Kane zone. He'll come up with a turnover, sends it out in front, and a snapshot by his brother Owen goes just wide. And now Bjork Vikholm has trouble with it, and the Canes get to it. Dzingel, 2-on-1 developing. Dzingel holds, sends it across, they score! Oh, beautiful setup by Ryan Dzingel to Marty Natchez. The 2-point conversion's good. It's 8-1 Carolina.
Well, Stepan's super night continues. End of his shift, he made a play at the center red line before he got off the ice to Dzingel. And for Ryan Dzingel, patience was such a virtue. The second time that he has set up Natchez for a goal in transition, once in the second period and there. And Natchez, the habits of just going on his natural side to the far post. Confidence, Ryan is going to find him. Stepan started the play at the end of his shift. Well, all 3 of those players in that order, Stepan, Dzingel, and Natchez, they've been a big part of this one-sided, really good effort.
And again, as you mentioned, good luck with the 3 stars tonight. Just keep adding more and more names. This is the puck deflects over the glass, stopping play with 1:39 to go in the third period. And again, an 8-1 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight over this Columbus Blue Jackets squad. And I would ask you, what's one thing that you liked about this game? And I think that the only answer would be everything. You've got it hinted at that, Trip.
I think it's just a total validation. It's been a validation through 4 preseason games now of the professional nature of where the Hurricanes are at. Players are obviously very fit. The systematic work that has been a part of the training camp practices, it looks, whether it's a veteran guy adjusting to a new team, a cornerstone guy that has grown here, or the younger players, it looks the way it should look. And there haven't been any periods in games where they've fallen off. It's just all of you add all that together and you just look at the cultural state of the union here in Carolina, and it is extremely impressive.
The last 50 seconds of the last home preseason game for the Hurricanes, scheduled for this year, is now Bear will keep it in at the point. He's given a high shove. We'll keep it in. Mendel pinches along the boards. Tries to play that one away from Gauntz. 30 seconds left.
And it's just the preseason, but the power play continues to thrive. And it was a power play goal from Jesperi Kokoniemi, down 1-0 at the time. That wasn't it from the power play, but got the Hurricanes started. And they put 8 on the board. Now they have the fans here up on their feet in appreciation.
Well-deserved ovation from the Canes fans for the effort here from their team. As the horn goes, Carolina improves to 4-0 this preseason with an 8-1 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Trip, if you do the math real quick, the Hurricanes have outscored their opponents 22-7 this preseason.
Yeah, I mean, you move to Buffalo right now, and then some really hard but decisions that any organization relishes. I don't, as soon as you finish in Buffalo tomorrow night, you're going to forget about everything that happened in the preseason. But the bottom line is, if you were to give this preseason a grade, it is just the preseason,
yep,
but A+. I mean, that's how good it's been.
I think you covered it perfectly. It's not just the results, it's how it's looked. It's looked the way that it should.
Well, it's, again, I've mentioned it before, and we'll get right to these 3 stars, is I remember a lot of preseasons where, yeah, you didn't have the talent, but you didn't have these competitions as fierce as you hoped they would be. Well, they've been every bit of that through 4 games, and I'm sure that'll continue into tomorrow night.
The third star is Brent Burns.
With 2 goals and an assist. Number 21.
The second star.
Stepan.
Again, Stepan with 2 goals tonight, trying to make his case to be part of this group once we get to October 12th.
With 2 goals and 2 assists. Number 88, Martin Necas.
4-point night for Marty Necas. You talked about the
F9
confidence
English,
that he has.
us,
Trip.
default.
That's got to be a great way for him to, if that
ESPN Spain,
he's not
7
be in the
p.m.
lineup in Buffalo tomorrow night. A great way for him to finish this preseason.
Yeah, I like what Rod did.